Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talking Elite, Episode 5. It is your boy, the Don Sean, and this is...
Brother St. Polo at your service. Boys and girls, what's going down, everybody?
And we are here with one of the newest, hottest photographers ringside in the independent scene right now, Cameraguygimmick. How you doing today, my brother? Welcome to the
What's
show.
going on, bro?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being on here. Sorry for the technical difficulties we had, and sorry that we're starting late to all of your friends and followers who are joining us here on the show. If you guys are joining us, we are live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you guys hit that follow, hit that share button, and we're just going to kind of just dive right into it, guys. We have an exciting show for you today. We're going to talk a little bit here with our boy Nick, and then we're going to kind of give you guys a more in-depth look, or as we like to call it here on the show, a different perspective at Don Sean and Brother St. Polo, and do our About Me this week, guys. I'm excited as well. At the end of the show, we will be announcing the winner of our Holiday Supreme giveaway. But without further ado, let's not get any more time, and let's just get into it. My man, so what got you into pro wrestling?
Fuck. The first thing that comes out of my mouth is fuck. Honestly, like, I'm not exactly sure what specifically got me into wrestling, because like my earliest memories as a child were like spent on my couch with my dad watching I don't like just Stone Cold, not anything specific from my earliest memories, but like the first matches that I personally remember seeing as a kid, so anywhere between like, I don't know, 3 and 6 years old or something. Because I'm 27, so this was like about 97 through 99 was like the hotbed for me. So of course Austin and Bret Hart at WrestleMania, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, Bad Blood, Hell in the Cell.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's one more. Oh, Triple H and The Rock, SummerSlam, the ladder match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's actually a low-key gem. That's
Yeah,
that's
that
an
is.
Yes,
underrated
bro.
gem
That's
right there.
exactly what I was gonna say. Like that match is like, I don't know why that ladder match doesn't get a lot more credit, especially considering like who's in the ladder match. Like Triple H and The Rock are two guys who I don't ever think I've seen in a ladder match since then, and
Right.
they I think had one of the best ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's
Triple H
awesome.
with them the purple tights, fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
But I think that he's still in DX with that in that match though, right?
Yeah, that was like right when I think Billy Gunn and like Road Dogg were about to join.
Yeah, it was at the tailspin of the ending of the Shawn Michaels era.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like and the Royal Rumble, like any Royal Rumble, like really caught my attention as a kid. And like those matches and then like the Royal Rumble, those are like my earliest memories. So like I'm not sure exactly like what got me into it, but those are like my earliest memories. Which is weird because my dad doesn't like wrestling and like he never has. So why it was on,
What?
why it was on, like to begin with, I don't know. But obviously, like during that time, it was like a pop culture thing, you know.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
maybe he was just trying to fit in. I don't know. But either way, I mean, it makes for a good story.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I know I can attest to that. I'm only 28, and my brother right here is very close to that age group that we are in as well. If not, probably, I believe he's 27 or 26 himself.
Yeah, sure. I'll be 27 in 2 weeks.
We're right there with you. I know around that time in the Attitude Era, that was definitely my what got me going too. So I'll definitely mention more about that later on in the show. I don't want to take up too much of your time talking about me, but yeah, man, definitely one of the peak eras of and definitely that Stone Cold Bret Hart. Oof, chef's kiss.
I have a lot of love for the Ruthless Aggression era too. Like I feel like that gets
yeah, of course.
A lot of people talk shit. Like, oh, I personally prefer.
I love Cena, so Ruthless Aggression.
So, here's my thing. Like, I respect Cena now that I'm like grown and I understand, but at the time I fucking hated him.
Yeah.
Hated
The thing was, I loved him before the title tag began with him, Randy, and Edge, and Triple H.
Okay.
At that point, I was starting to when the whole ECW One Night Stand was starting, and it was like, if Cena wins, we riot. I was ready to just burn down Hammerstein with them.
Serious?
You know, at that point, because it's
so you're not like an OG like Cena, like when he was in the Trunks fan, or you
I
are?
am. That's what I'm saying. I'm from there. I'm from the time where he came out and challenged Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle was mad because he gave him a little more work than he was ready for.
Yeah.
You know, shook his hand type shit, and then like the Undertaker and all that, and then the transition into the Chain Gang and all of that. That was me. Sure. I love that.
That was actually his best gimmick.
I liked the Dr. Thugonomics was good. I don't know why. I kind of like the Chain Gang thing, but like right after I
wear the chain.
Dude, I had that. You remember that he had like a shirt? It was like a bulldog on it, and it had like a helmet. I had that shirt, even though I fucking hated John Cena because I'm a mark. But like, it was like right after that ECW One Night Stand era where I was just like, all right, I'm done with him. Like, I was happy to see RVD win it, but then I think like it went back. I think Edge, right? And then back to Cena.
Edge, and then went back to Cena like in that September.
So I'm saying title tag. That's when I started to hate on him a little
bit.
Pretty
much.
And I don't really like how Cena like talked all that shit about The Rock, and then like he literally just turned around and did the same shit.
Basically, practically, he did the same thing. I mean, I can't knock him because when you get to a certain point in your career, you're not going to perform as much as you did once.
Sure.
So it's as you get older, like I kind of realize, okay, what he said about The Rock, it has some merit to it. But damn it, don't go and say that shit and then do the same shit like 15 years later, bro. Come on,
yeah. Like I get it, make your money, dude. Like I completely understand, but
I'm all for that. I'm all for it, make your money, bro.
So, I mean, I'm laughing so much because it's like the concept of being a hypocrite, right? It's just sad stuff, man. The guy was doing great, and then he just changed up on us.
15 great years,
and the refusal to go heel. Oh my god.
I think that's what pissed off a lot, like the rest of the people that were just like, "Yo, I'm just done with this guy."
Yeah,
and like for him to not turn heel after all those years, and when and it's literally so crazy because he was talking about he had a heel gimmick ready. He had a heel gimmick ready.
I guess we'll never know.
Marketing, like he was way too much money, especially at a time where like business was down. He was probably like their main source of income. So turning
10 years,
it would have been like
10 years reigning merchandise king.
Yeah. And it would have been like when they turned Stone Cold heel after Mania and like business went down because like nobody wanted to see this shit. It's like we do want to see it, but then it's like the effects from that happening, even though we want to see it, like you can see it in the charts and shit, the stats.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really interesting.
But yeah, my man, I appreciate all of that and just some of that in-depth background into kind of the moments that got you into wrestling. But if we can, let's talk about when and where did you start photographing pro wrestling? Like how did that happen?
Well, so like I started with music videos in like 2017, 18-ish. Because I knew this, I was like really involved in the underground Chicago music scene. Like for example, like I would book shows and stuff, and like I don't know if either of you are like familiar with like Smoke Perp. He was on like Double XL and shit, bro. I booked him before he was like anything. Like I was so in tune like with the underground music that I met this kid named Jeff, and he did music videos. And I've always been good like on the artsy side of like technology, like Photoshop and stuff like that. And I told myself if he can make music videos, then I can make music videos because I know how to edit and stuff. So like I bought a camera, not having any fucking experience with one. bought a camera and like just learn, and I had to learn the hard way, obviously, like by doing shitty videos and taking shitty pictures and just starting from the ground up. But like,
of course,
just from me doing that, and after about a year, I ended up with an internship at House of Blues, in Chicago, which gave me a lot of opportunities at other venues in Chicago to shoot for guys like Waka Flocka or whatever. Like I've literally shot for like that. Some of the, which is another reason why I want to do something else, is because I had did so much in the music scene. So when I got into the videography, I kind of discovered it wasn't my thing. It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel right. So I just started taking pictures, like with no thought behind it, and I just started shooting concerts instead of taking video. And then one thing led to another, and I was actually at StarCast, and I was leaving StarCast, and Steve who is the owner of this promotion in Chicago called Warrior Wrestling.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Warrior Wrestling.
Yeah. So he was standing. So he was standing outside with a couple of like the the young boys, I guess we could say, handing out flyers for the show. And like I said, I was at StarCast. I was actually like media at StarCast. So I was taking pictures at StarCast, which was technically like my first wrestling thing. But
was this the first StarCast before All In?
No, it was the one before All Out.
Okay.
So
the one that was super pumping up too.
Yeah. The one, yeah. So like basically, I looked at the flyer and I seen Mick Foley was on it. Like he had a spot with Frank the Clown, and like the Lucha Brothers were on that flyer, and Tessa Blanchard, and so I knew a few names. But like keep in mind, I was so I'm skipping a lot because I want to keep it somewhat short. But at this point in my life, I was very removed from wrestling, like about 5 years removed. So I didn't even know who Adam Cole was. Okay, I only knew the Lucha Brothers because they were AEW, and I had watched Double or Nothing earlier that summer, which got me into AEW. Nice. And then so like that's how I knew the Lucha Brothers, and then obviously Mick Foley, like, you know, growing up. So I seen that, and like I was like, oh fuck. So I turned around and I went and I talked to Steve, and I said, hey, like I just shot my shot, and he was like, yeah, but this is when Warrior was still in their like infancy, so they only had like a couple guys, and he was like, yeah, go ahead, come on in, and like I went and shot Warrior 6, and I didn't know fucking anything. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I walked in front of the hard cam like multiple times, was getting in people's way, like, bro, it was horrible. It was awful. And that was like my first experience with shooting wrestling.
Man,
it's a long story, but it's a good story.
No, it's a great story. I mean,
that's a hell of a first experience.
At that point in time, Warrior Wrestling was definitely young in its infancy. You're probably talking about the time where like Tessa had the belt still, along with I believe Brian Cage. It was
the show that Brian Cage, I think, he either gave up the belt because he was injured, or like he defended it that show against like Mike Elgin, who like is not around right now. You know, that just tells you how long ago it was. But
yeah, wow.
Also like I think it was like Killer Cross versus Tom Lawler. Like the card was fire, dude. Yeah.
I mean, Warrior Wrestling cards are stacked. I mean, Warrior 17 about to happen this weekend, and that thing is stacked to the gills. That match with Trey Miguel, Will Ospreay, and
Blake Christian.
Blake Christian is going to be insane.
Yeah, bro. And I'm just lucky that I'm like a part of the team. Like I'm super fucking grateful that I'm like even a part of Warrior Wrestling. But all the promotions I'm with, I'm super grateful for. You know, because this shit is like us as fans. Like it's like if someone called you right now and was like, "Oh, come on, Talking Graves and replace whoever." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just be like, "Holy shit!" It's as a fan, like you just really appreciate that shit a lot. You know, not sound like
absolutely. Just kind of like you were saying. I actually work in the film industry as a Yahtzee stagehand. So I've set up massive amounts of like WWE events, from hanging the lighting systems and the truss systems that do everything, as well as building the ring. So I definitely, you know, I've been a part of kind of what happens behind there as well. So it's just something different when you get to be a part of what's going into it, rather than, you know, because obviously I have no affiliation with WWE or AEW or any other company in the world for that matter. you know. So, but when you get the opportunity to contribute something like that, I know at least from my perspective, it's something that means the world to me, being such a big fan of the industry and what the talent does. You know, every man and woman who goes out there on that mat. So I can't even imagine what type of gratification it gives you being a wrestling fan, being out there.
Yeah, dude, it gives me weird moments. Like, I don't know, like the only time I've genuinely like popped and been starstruck is when probably that first Warrior with Mick Foley, like, because I remember Frank Mir was there.
Oh, shoot.
And I got a picture of Frank Mir talking to Mick Foley, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, this kid that like that has no experience like with a camera is taking pictures of fucking Mick Foley and Frank Mir together, which I don't even know if another picture like that exists.
Yeah, hey, you might be sitting on a gem right there.
Think about that. You hold one of one.
The one of one, and it's
as
just
of right
like
now, right?
It's a weird like. For example, like I don't go up to these guys and like I'll introduce myself just because that's how the business is. Like, it's still very old school in the aspect of like backstage politics and like handshakes and all that shit. But when it comes to like, oh, will you take a picture with me? I don't do that shit. Like, I know people that do that, and I don't even know how they do that because maybe it's just like a social anxiety thing. But even though, like, okay, here's a good example. I took pictures for a Billy Gunn match earlier this year, and Billy Gunn is like one of my all-time favorites, like up there, top 3. And I didn't take a picture. I didn't even ask. Like, I didn't even really introduce myself. I did told him I'm a photographer. That's it. Because those guys don't give a fuck, dude. Like, they don't give a shit. Like, I mean, not like they aren't appreciative of what you do, because they are, but they just don't. They don't care, because you're gonna come off like a mark if you're backstage and you're working the show. In my opinion, you're not supposed to come off like a fanboy asking for a picture. It's just some inside.
1,000%. I mean, they even say it for us, you know, like the stagehands and stuff when we're working the events. Like, if you see the talent in catering or, you know, wherever on the floor rehearsing, just leave them alone. Don't bother them. They're here. You know, like I worked Evolution. That's like one of those times where like I was ready to mark out, you know, probably for the first time ever, having worked a bunch of events, and then just kind of like seeing so many of the talented like divas from like when we were growing up. You know, you saw Trish, you saw Lita, you saw all these people. Well, the moment I laid eyes on Lita, I was just ready to go running like for the win. Like, come sign my poster I used to have of you in my locker in 5th grade that I got suspended from school for, please, you know. But obviously, you know, we have to maintain. So that's really cool hearing, guys. You know, everybody joining us, this is a very different perspective you guys are getting. You know, if you guys joined us last week, we had the first female champs, the Renegade Twins, talking about their side of it. And now you guys are getting another side of it. Somebody behind the scenes who, like he said, just kind of picked up a camera and has kind of been running with it. So with that being said, man, what's your favorite part of the process thus far?
It's definitely not editing, because that shit takes so long. I don't know. I guess just shooting, like taking like the pictures is my favorite part, because I get to watch the match too. So I have like the best seat in the house, and
majority of the time you're at ringside, right?
Yeah, I'd say like 95% I'm at ringside, and I'll go back to like that picture of Brody that we're talking about. I'll go in the back to get shit like that, but it has to be like that because there's not another like ringside photographer that, well, depends what promotion. Like, for example, AAW, not AEW. They have only one ringside guy, which is me, but I also take promo pictures. So I have to find time in between. Well, I try to get everybody done before the show starts. I'll take promo pictures if they need updated promo pictures. And then I have to try and find time in between the show to go back and take pictures of people who might have not been geared up, or who maybe like the title changed and I got to get promo pictures of somebody with the belt. So I got to find time to run backstage and do that. But there's other instances like Warrior Wrestling where we have me, Brainbuster, 3-count photo. Like, there's a few different photographers there who just literally do only portrait stuff. So I would say like my focus is ringside, but I do both. I do promo stuff and ringside, but 95% is like ring. Yeah.
So were you running around like a chicken with your head cut off when Sky Blue beat Allison for the belt recently? Like
No,
trying to get that photo of her with the belt?
Dude, honestly, like that popped me because like I know what's gonna happen because like I see the run sheet, so like I know who's going over. But but a lot of the times I don't really pay attention to that stuff because like I just look at it for the time to like know if I have time to run back and take pictures or whatever, take a piss. So I don't really pay attention to that shit, which I didn't that day. So when she won, it popped me because like, dude, Sky is someone who one of the first matches I ever shot for AAW was Sky versus Sierra. I think it was the second match I shot for them, and that was last October, like when we just came back from like COVID. So like there was only 15 people in the fucking like arena.
Jeez,
And,
right.
bro, it was crazy, but that's when I first met her, and since then she has grown so much over the last just year, and she's only like 23, dude. Like she's going to be a fucking star. She's already starting to get like this cult following and shit. Like
oh my god, yeah.
Do. But she like really like, and I've been such a visual contributor to her career over the last year because I've literally her, Sierra, and can't think of the third one off the top of my head, or like the top 3 wrestlers I've shot this year. I've shot so many Sky Blue matches that seeing stuff like that makes me like, that's the shit that gives me goosebumps because I can feel that. You know, I can feel her emotion and like her getting emotional, and I'm capturing the moment. So I'm seeing this shit that I'm capturing of them getting emotional, and it makes me emotional, you know, because it's just, we're fans, dude. It just goes back to when you watch the shit, like when I was there when CM Punk, like, dude, and I'm not even really a CM Punk mark at all, like, but when he fucking came out, I felt that shit because I'm a fan.
God damn, you was in the United Center that night?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I was like, I was right next to the floor. I was like the row right before floor level.
Yeah, you were not gonna miss that.
No. Hell no, bro.
No, and I wish I was like shooting AEW that day. I've had an opportunity to shoot a couple AEW events. Like I shot All Out this year, and then I just recently did a Dynamite in Chicago. But that one I like bought tickets to go as a fan because, like you said, I wasn't gonna miss that shit.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I was there when they came to the Prudential. I'm gonna be there when they come back to the Prudential. Unfortunately, I'm not going to the Nassau Coliseum. Well, no longer Nassau Coliseum. Now the UBS Arena, Long Island, rather. But
shoot, I'll be at Winter is Coming next Wednesday night. So in Dallas, so that will be something else.
But yeah, like you were saying, she definitely is blowing up and grabbing.
I think Hangman gets the win, dude. I just can't see him losing the title in his first defense at that. It's his first defense of the title. That's
the one thing that AEW is so good at is they got you. Like
their unpredictability is top notch, bro.
Unless it's dark. Unless it's darker elevation.
Even Element of Surprise is on there too.
Match announcement.
Right.
When you see Dark in Elevation, you know.
I mean, some guys you'll know from the indies, but damn, you'll just be like, damn, they just there for enhancement purposes.
Like, so I'm not gonna lie, like if they had Woods beat Shawn Spears on that Dark episode, I would not have been mad. He's the pure champion. There's no reason he should lose to Spears. Right. You know what I mean? If they want to do the open door, forbidden door thing they got going on, but I digress. I'm not Tony Khan, so
they're gonna have Woods. They're gonna have Woods up in there soon.
Well, the way that they look at it is they're not going to bring talent in to fucking win. Like they're not going to bring in someone who doesn't even have a contract with them to go over a talent that does.
Well, like that's what they did for Rosa, Thunder Rosa. Well, they brought her in, no contract.
Listen to this. Here's some insider. So Chris Statlander was our AAW Women's Champion, right?
Yeah.
And she was the champion before she got signed. So she got signed, and then obviously COVID happened. So like, she only defended the belt like once or something because she got signed. So she was gone and COVID. So, like over the summer we brought her back, and I think she had one defense, and then we were going to get the belt off of her because she got signed and she's not around. So we put the belt on Allison Kay, and TK had a huge issue with Statlander losing that match.
Oh shit! I think I heard of this though.
How the fuck do you want us to get our belt off of Statlander? Like without, and I think there was a fucky finish too. Like it wasn't even clean. I'm pretty sure someone interfered, and he still had a problem with it. So like that just tells you, even when they send these girls or guys out to these like indie promotions, they're not gonna. If they do lose, like it has to be against like fucking.
It has to be good. It has to
be against somebody that they would probably be putting on a mainstream level themselves. That they,
like a legitimate loss. It has to be a legitimate loss in a way.
Like Josh Alexander went over Daniel Garcia in our like Lynam. It's called Jim Lynam tournament. That's a good example right there. I mean, Josh Alexander, he might work for a different promotion, but his stock is a little higher than Garcia's. So like, you know, it's really is all about politicking, dude.
It really is. It really is. It's kind of crazy to hear it like that, but like you kind of figure. I mean, the guy's been not to say anything. He's kind of been showing new sides of that pyramid that is, or that Rubik's cube that is TK. So for sure, lately I feel like, especially like when it comes to the female wrestlers. I mean, you heard the whole interview thing about NWA Empower, and then now look, the lady he kind of gave that rub to. Or whatever. She works for AEW now. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I did.
So that's pretty interesting. So you said you were kind of into wrestling and you were into like the Attitude Era stuff. So would you say WWF was the wrestling promotion for you growing up, or were you like the Monday Night Wars, WCW a little more, ECW a little more? What was your thing?
No, I was definitely WWF, but like I didn't watch WCW, but I loved Goldberg.
Just Goldberg?
Just Goldberg? I liked Sting, and I liked DDP, and I liked Buff Bagwell because he had a fucking top hat. But I loved fucking Goldberg. I still love Goldberg like to this fucking day.
Wow. That is pretty cool. That is pretty damn cool.
I'll show you what I got.
That is wavy.
Since we're showing things.
What? How long ago was that? When did you get that sign?
Oh, I bought it. I bought it signed, unfortunately.
Oh man, what?
I mean, it came with like the certificate and all that shit, but you know.
So I still have a 1998 original Toy Biz WCW Goldberg Big Head.
Fuck yeah.
Damn.
That's dope.
We just go through the wheel.
You got Simpsons figures back there? What is that back there?
Where?
In your Detolf.
This one?
Oh, I didn't even notice that one. Both of them. I see Pops in that one.
Oh, so I'm a huge avid collector of wrestling, combat sports memorabilia, as well as anime stuff. So I have a bunch of Yu Yu Hakusho merchandise, as well as Demon Slayer, Death Note, a bunch of stuff, Dragon Ball. Shit, man, I got so much. It's crazy. I'd have to take you on a tour after the interview.
Man.
Bro, look at that pile. Look at that pile of fucking unopened figures.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm sitting on too, man. I mean, you can see I'll chest it up a little bit.
Is that a Moxley figure, right? I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to say I can't. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But speaking of Goldberg, you know what this is? WCW United States title.
It's a merch fest.
Absolutely. Also a 99 original. You know, this was the kid-size belts back in the day.
Dude, that's fucking cool. That's cool.
I also had the belt when you press the center thing when it'd be like, ding.
Oh yeah, my man. Like, I remember those.
Ready to wrestle the champ. So,
yeah, I definitely do remember those.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I didn't even really watch Goldberg like that either, but my brother, you know, God rest his soul, he used to love Goldberg so much, man. So we had a bunch of Goldberg stuff in the house too.
That's awesome. It's just like that intensity he brings, dude. Like, I don't know. There's something like, which adds on to my WWF, WCW thing. When he came over to WWE, as a kid, I didn't think anything was wrong with his run. Like, I didn't until now that I'm older and like, you know, rewatching like SummerSlam 2003 when it was the Elimination Chamber and fucking Triple H still comes out on top.
I feel like that was the start of like
the end.
Like that was
just
a wonky thing.
Fucking monster in that match, dude. Like
that match.
That's one of the best Goldberg like matches ever. I know obviously there's 5 other guys in it, but
still, like those 5 other guys,
Exactly.
Made him look like a beast.
But bro, like how could you go wrong with Jericho, Shawn, fucking Orton, RVD, Triple H? Like, how are you gonna have a bad match? You know, can't.
Jeez, man.
But okay. Anyway, I digress. So, I remember when I would flip through the channels when I was like old enough to like actually understand that there was more than WWF, that I would see ECW sometimes, but I didn't know what it was. Like I knew Taz and RVD were from ECW, but I didn't know anything about ECW. So like I played some of the WCW video games, and that's about as far as I went into other promotions.
Wow. Yeah,
That's fair.
definitely I had the ECW Nintendo 64 game and some stuff like that growing up, for sure. I was more, I don't even know. I'd have to think about that as well, because it was definitely WWF, same for me, but like my brother had like the WCW tapes, the ECW tapes. I mean, I still have the VHSs here in the house right now. Pretty insane stuff just thinking about it, but it's like it's always nice, you know. I love to ask that question because it's always nice for me, and I'm sure for the viewers watching at home. Just like we love to say, it's our key moniker here. You'll probably hear us say it a lot throughout episode 2. It's just a different perspective. You get a little bit from everybody, just their unique view of what the community of pro wrestling is to them, and kind of what their things that they love the most. So I definitely appreciate it, man. So then, what would you say has been your favorite match that you've either photographed, or that you just seen wrestle and seen happen?
Whew, fuck. That's a good question. It's like a basic question, but it's a good question because I like don't answer those questions. Fuck, man. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to separate ones that I've seen live against ones that I've shot. I think the best. Damn, man. I think the best live match I've seen is the Young Bucks versus Kenny and Hangman, the tag match at Revolution.
Talk to me,
bro.
Talk to me.
When that shit was happening, I went with my friend Marjay, who's like he grew up a wrestling fan, but nowhere like near as we all are. Like he was just kind of like a, you know, whatever. He
casual kind of, yeah.
Yeah, he knew like the Stone Colds and Shawn Michaels, but he didn't know like fucking Deborah, Stone Cold's wife. You know what I mean? So, who I met this Saturday, she's really nice, and she looks the exact same.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That's awesome.
She fuck. So, like it was, dude. It actually surprised me. Like to add on to the Deborah,
looks the same. See that?
Jeff Jarrett was there, and like,
oh damn,
we didn't get a Jeff Jarrett Deborah spot in the show. Like missed opportunity.
Right.
But no. So like me and my friend Marjay were sitting in the stands like watching this fucking tag match, and I'm like tapping him on the shoulder. I'm like, dude, this. I'm not just saying this because like we're here. I'm like, this is some other shit right here. Like you feel it. And like for the last 10 minutes, everybody was standing up. Like it was just, bro, it was unreal. Now like shooting, like my favorite match I've ever shot. I'll have to like cap it at like 3. I'll have to give 3 because this is like part of a project I'm working on for the 12 days of Christmas. I'm gonna post like in order my favorite matches of the year, with my pictures obviously. So I think right now it's a tie between Daniel Garcia and Josh Alexander, which was at AEW 2 months ago. Josh Alexander and Fred Yehai went 60 minutes, a 60-minute draw at AAW, this promotion I shoot for in Chicago. And fuck, man. I think probably Darby and CM Punk. I got to shoot that. I shot all out. So those are probably my top 3.
Hold up. You say Darby and Punk, but you don't say the Lucha Brothers and the Bucks?
Dude, that to me, okay, like what was different from that match than their All Out 2019. Like it was just in a cage. And
it was just, okay. That's fair.
I felt like their 2019 match was better, but then again, like
I agree.
Watching from the crowd, it was kind of hard for me to like see through the cage, so it kind of took it away from me a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
I agree as well, especially because the delay in the the delay in the ending and just the situation with the top of the cage and all that. I agree.
Well, I didn't really understand like why everybody did Dave Meltzer rate it 5 stars? I think he did.
Like 6, yeah, he gave it like
6 stars. Starman and his stars, bro.
Yeah, but Starman, look, man,
see, like
Starman and his stars, bro.
The tag match at Revolution could have got 6, and I would have been like, fine, but not that.
Not, 6.
Yeah, not that cage. The cage, it was great. Like All Out 2021. Until something better happens, will hands down go down as the best wrestling pay-per-view ever. Like whether it's like an opinion
statement.
That's a very even there. Nick.
It's just the numbers.
Strategy, Cotton.
Yeah, bro, and it's just, I've had like such a good time also watching Daniel Garcia throughout this year. Like he is a fucking machine, and I'm so
monster, yeah.
He's been balling.
The match between him and Josh Alexander is one that I would employ everybody to go back and watch. Like 2 technical fucking dogs just doing what they do best. That match was fucking great. Seriously, that is probably number 1 for me. Honestly, my favorite match I've ever shot.
Yeah, no, he's been
rocking. You guys hear it here first. Go find it. Josh Alexander
and Daniel Garcia. That man is going to be a problem
of the year. Go find it, guys. Just one time to all of you guys joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Thank you guys so much for following and joining us. Please, guys, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that follow wherever you are joining us. Thank you guys so much. Again, we are here with Nick, better known as Cameraguygimmick. He shoots and films behind the scenes for promotions on the independent scene, as well as you hear him talking. If you're just joining us, he has shot for AEW. He's been in the building for many big events, and he just told us his favorite match he's shot so far, Josh Alexander, Daniel Garcia. So make sure you guys check that out. Just kind of moving on and continuing on. Just so, what's the camera like? What are you using to make this magic happen? I know you probably don't want to spill too much for the rest of the world to go out there and steal your thunder.
No, it was like the Krabby Patty secret formula, bro.
Yeah.
You can't give that out, man.
It's
Let's all be planktons then.
So I've bounced around. I started with a Panasonic GH4 when I was doing like music video stuff, which is like a 4K camera. It's just kind of like a basic. It does okay. It does definitely do better video work than photography, yeah. But I upgraded to. I had a Sony A6400, and I recently upgraded again, which I will not reveal what my new is because let me tell you something, dude. All right, so you can have the most expensive camera, but if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, it doesn't matter. Like it does. Like actually, I'm not even gonna say it because
about the fun.
But hey, but like I actually like I'll get. So I have a G Master lens, which is like, I mean, the lens alone is $2,000. So yeah, like I have a good combo between my body and my lens. Like I have a camera that shoots very well in low light. Like it takes the frames per second is high, so I can shoot better in low light, which is ideal for like, even if it's not wrestling, like any kind of sports photography, really, because whether it's shadowing, like say if it's baseball and someone could be like swinging, well, you might get like shadow on the swing. So it's just good to have like different lenses and, you know, filters that go over the lens. There's a lot of shit that goes into it, really. Like the camera is just like 25% of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it definitely goes into, you definitely got to be skilled. You got to know how to focus, how to do all that stuff for sure, and just have your fundamentals and all your stuff down. So
timing is huge. And that goes with any, like whether it's sports or weddings. I think maybe just photography in general. Like timing is everything. Obviously, you're capturing the moment, but like if I'm leaning on the rope and I'm trying to get a picture, and if someone's about to Irish whip off of the rope, if I don't move, then I'm gonna get someone's ass thrown in my face because the wrestler ain't gonna care to fucking stop. If they hit me, it's my fault, and I'm gonna get heat for it because I was in the way. I probably looked bad on the stream, ruined a spot, whatever. So
unless you become a spot, unless you improvise and just become a spot.
I'm trying to get my hair cut. I might make that work. Maybe a heel throw me in the ring. They can, cut my shit.
There's been a few cameramen who've had spots, so
I mean you're right. But like it's all about fucking
camera smashed.
Well, dude, like I remember, you guys know wrestling with unicorns. They post the clips.
Yeah.
So Martin is one of the two guys who run that, and me and Martin work a lot together. And we were working a Warrior show, and Martin didn't smart anybody up to the fact he was going to be beaten with a kendo stick by Robert Ego. And everybody thought it was a shoot. Like Steve, the promoter, thought it was a shoot. Like Basil, who's like another photographer, like he walked up to Robert while he was hitting him on live stream and was like, "Dude, stop!" He's like, "Get the fuck back!" So like, yeah, bro, I could be a spot. I could be.
Oh man,
I need to get over a little bit more.
I'm about to say, what would be your pain tolerance? Would you take kendo stick shots? What's your pain tolerance?
I don't know, man. I feel
What's
like
up,
that
man? You
might
going through a flaming table.
No, fuck that. That might open up a different door for me. Then I might want to like get in the ring, which I don't want to feel like I have enough balls to do that. As much as I love wrestling, I'm only like 5'8", and I mean now we can make it work. Like people that are my height, like
Bro, I'm telling you, right.
I'll stick to the outside, and maybe if I am in a spot, I'm flattered. But if I'm not, I'll.
The Briscoes put you through a table. You'll be over forever.
The Dudleys put me through a table. I'll do it.
Okay. Well, the Briscoes are the closest thing we'll get to the Dudleys.
If Billy Gunn wants to give me that's the point. And if Billy Gunn wants to give me a famouser, sign me up.
Yeah, I'll take a famouser from the Ass Man any day.
From Billy Ass.
For sure.
Billy Ass boys.
So then, since Billy Gunn is your favorite, I do have to ask you, and I know this is off. This is completely nothing to do with anything, guys.
Good man.
Billy Gunn or Dolph Ziggler? Who's famouser?
Damn.
I mean, okay, I have to pick Billy Gunn because he's the OG, but like
the originator, of course.
Dolph is, oh my god, he is literally just somebody who would fucking flourish as like a top heel. But he even did it as a babyface, dude. He's such a good worker, like in a seller, and I wish that dude deserves so much, man. Seriously, I feel bad.
Let's look at this comment here from our boy. Shout out to our boy Daniel Eldon Cassiano joining the show. He said, "Imagine Nick is in a cage match with a top cage slam on thumbtacks." Jesus, my guy's talking about a spot. You gave him a whole. You just
gave him a whole work, my man. Yeah.
Why'd you RIP the guy?
Dude, in the match, why won't you?
I better have a fat payoff if I'm doing anything like. I can't even, bro. If I stub my toe, I'm bitching. so if I step on a thumbtack, I've stepped on a thumbtack because I've been a part of like matches where fucking guys like 2 or 3 times I was involved with tack spot. Well, not in tack spots, but like I was taking pictures, and a couple of them went through my fucking foot. I got to take pictures of one flaming table inside of a building, and it was kind of sketchy.
It's kind of sketchy. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's been sketchier out there. I mean, Tournament of Death and such like that. At least you're not out there shooting stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. I actually would really like to shoot a GCW show.
GCW, huh? I was just about to ask you that question too.
I had talked to like the leading photographer there, and there's like so many people there. They have like a lot of guys, and like Martin, who I was talking about from Unicorns, he's there. And like this is also insider from what I understand is that they don't pay their photographers. So if that's the case, then I definitely ain't gonna be there because for the like Martin, he literally right before Matt Cardona fucking unveiled himself to Nick Gage.
Yeah.
When he was pretending to be Moxley, Martin was there, And right before that, he got fucking cut open on his hand from a piece of glass that flew out of the
fiberglass.
Dude, and he had to get like, I forgot how many stitches. He's gonna correct me, but like I afterwards on Facebook, he was saying like he could still like barely feel like his fingers and shit, and like,
yeah, that's the one thing, man. I love, and I've seen, between ICW and then like extreme, like that whatever it was, the one that they had on the Dark Side of the Ring. Long before GCW. Now with GCW, and I'll tell you, I was literally just telling my wife about this not too long ago. I love wrestling. I used to try backyard wrestling back in the day, the old AWA school, and it was so funny because a photo just got shared recently with it of a Jay Lethal match that happened in that building. But like I used to go to like a lot of the indie stuff in my local Jersey area and New York area, but man. The one thing, and it's not a knock at all, shout out to you crazy motherfuckers. The one thing that I just can't get over is the light tubes, man. Especially now being like a film electrician and knowing the damage that happens. I mean, all that tape that they put on, all the padding that they put on, and they're still getting cut like crazy from these things. Those light tubes kill me, man. It kills me.
And it's not good for your respiratory system.
Any of it.
Like nothing about it is good.
And these guys are just loving it.
I was in Dallas on Saturday night for Jimmy Lloyd against John Wayne Murdoch. Fucking bonkers, bro.
What a promo cut for that.
Yeah. For real.
Fucking bonkers, the whole match, bro. That was like watching my first GCW death match in person. I didn't even know they were gonna have a death match on the card. Let alone it was the main event of the night. I'm like, Jesus, Mary.
Yeah, Jimmy Lloyd cut a crazy promo on John Wayne Murdoch before that, talking about how he's the heart and soul and he's not going to go down without a fight. I mean, shit gave me goosebumps. You could feel the passion, too. His voice was breaking so much and cracking so much. I was like, yeah, my guy's feeling what he's saying.
Yeah, no,
those are the best promos, though. Yeah. Like, you have to feel it because if you don't, then that's when it obviously comes off as artificial, and then that's when people start to talk shit.
It's when it comes out like the feds.
That's why we don't do scripts, man.
If it's not like a super emotional moment, it's about you getting into the character enough to where it is emotional to you. Like it might not be emotional to you personally, but it's emotional to your character, and you have to be in that mindset because you're not portraying yourself, portraying a character.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about it, man. Since we kind of talked about the camera, we talked about what got you into it, we talked about currently some of the stuff you got going on. So what would you say then has been, we talked about a few matches earlier that kind of grabbed your eye. What would you say is your favorite match of all time?
Fuck, man. I think really, God, I try not to like include gimmick matches because those are so entertaining that it's like unfair for them to be my favorite. God,
don't worry.
You know what?
Iron Man matches.
I think if I had to pick one match that's my favorite, I'll make it easy because I'll fucking sit here forever trying to figure it out. My favorite WWE Ruthless Aggression era match is tied between Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit at the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think it was 03 or 02.
03. Mm-hmm.
And then the triple threat at WrestleMania 20.
Oh, yeah, damn.
I don't know why.
Yeah, you can't.
WrestleMania 20 is my favorite WrestleMania.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about that because that was literally the next question anyway. The favorite pay-per-view of all time. Let's talk about why.
I don't know if it's my favorite pay-per-view of all time, but it's definitely my favorite WrestleMania. I don't know why. My stepdad like used to like steal cable and like pay-per-views. So when I was a kid,
I came from a spot where we had like illegal cable boxes everywhere. So
the black
So yes, for whatever like that time of my life, it's probably my favorite WrestleMania is because I was like so happy as like a clueless fucking adolescent that I didn't know how shitty my life was gonna become. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like
Real world facts for you guys. Real world facts.
for whatever, like the Undertaker returning as the Dead Man,
for sure.
But I loved the Big Evil character. I loved the American Badass. Like now, especially that I'm older, I think I like that character more. But there was just something about that WrestleMania, like with The Rock coming back, and then like the Undertaker and Ultimo Dragon debuted, even though it was dog shit. And the main event, and I don't know, man. Eddie Guerrero and Kurt Angle, that one just speaks to me. And for whatever reason, I like correlate that with the first Ice Age movie because they released like right around the same time. So,
well, damn it, kind of you believe it or not, like every 10 years, WWE goes through a transition period, and like that WrestleMania was definitely a transition. Even within like the Ruthless Aggression era, like you knew like it wasn't gonna be the same after that night.
I think my favorite pay-per-view of all time is probably the Royal Rumble 2001.
2001.
Yeah, 2001, where Kane went on that fucking. That I think is also the best Royal Rumble.
Where Kane on that elimination tear.
Yeah, fucking Drew Carey.
Yes.
Drew Carey, and then like Stone Cold
man coming out, and yeah, man.
It was I during that time I would record them on VCR because obviously like that's what we had when we grew up. So I would go back and always watch I would go back and watch the promo between Triple H and Kurt Angle, but then I would fast forward through the match because I thought it was the most boring fucking match ever. Did either of you like appreciate Kurt Angle when you were a kid? Like,
you know what?
I mean, I think 03 was one of his strongest years. But
yeah,
sorry, bro. What were you saying?
His character off rip like really intrigued me. Like when he first came in like 2000, like I was like, man, this man is just like a fucking goody two shoes. He can do no wrong, bro. He could definitely do no wrong. And then when he intensified it, like he was saying, like 02, 03, he started like bringing his wrestling side, and he adapted the ankle lock into his arsenal. I'm like, damn, this dude
started the broken freaking neck shit. That match he had with the Undertaker, and then like you were saying, just the run he went on, the matches he had, the people he had him with. The dude was putting on classics in 03. Yeah. And then with the world's greatest tag team, I appreciated that. But like right around the time where he was doing like the mouthpiece thing, getting ready to go to TNA, I wasn't really a fan of him.
Really? I loved that. I love the wrestling machine.
You ain't like the intensity?
I like the intensity for sure. But again, he had that intensity with the world's greatest tag team, Team Angle and all that. Then that kind of died down. He had like a solid 6-month run. And then before the mouthpiece thing. The mouthpiece thing became crazy.
Out of his three
then he started doing the straps, the open challenge, started ankle locking the whole world and everything.
My man,
then
showed
the Cena
intensity.
thing. Remember, I went Cena all the way.
Yeah, I didn't get it when I was a kid. Like the Angle went like Angle before he was bald, basically. Like I didn't get it, so I didn't like him. And then, dude, because like I liked guys like Shawn Michaels and Jeff Hardy and Billy Gunn, so. That tells you that Kurt Angle is not gonna appeal. I like dudes that walk around with like hearts on their trunks and lips and fucking painted nails. I don't like fucking Kurt Angle. But now that I'm old, I loved the wrestling machine. Like what you're saying you didn't like, I fucking loved that right before he went to TNA when he was in ECW.
Yeah.
I loved that. Yeah. I thought
my thing at that time was I wasn't a fan of that iteration of ECW.
Oh, nobody was.
And the fact that they made him go be the flagship there, it wasn't because the wrestling machine in the TNA, like that style Kurt Angle, I was loving it.
But it fit
as some people
would
call him Kurt. You know, he was going off at that time. He was going.
Dude, he fit that environment
off the stage. He did crazy shit in TNA.
Without him and Jeff Hardy and Sting in TNA during that time, I don't think TNA would have had as much steam as they did. And it's
no way.
It's crazy. Not. They had the fucking roster.
Carter shit.
I know, but like at the end of the day, like I think Hulk is really the one that kind of fucking put the nail in the coffin.
Oh, he's terrible.
Piece of shit.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
Let
me go on a rant about how he's a racist piece of shit real quick.
January 4th, 2010. Nobody, the moment TNA like killed itself.
For whatever reason, I'm saying this a lot. When he came back in like 2002, when he after he wrestled The Rock at WrestleMania, when he won the belt at Judgment Day against Triple H, I loved it. I fucking love that. I don't know why, because I hate Hulk Hogan, but like that era Hulk Hogan, that old ass grandpa Hulk Hogan, I love that shit. I love that. And when he was Mr. America, and they were like, "Oh, we don't know who that is." That's
Gregory, when he had the whole thing, and he was like, "Well,
yeah.
There's a rumor that you're the Hurricane." That was one of my favorite things. I'll tell you, one of my favorite things in like the old man Hulk era was and if you're a fan of Ruthless Aggression and Shawn Michaels, I'm sure you probably saw the newest episode they just had with him. And man, they brought up 06, the match between Hulk and Shawn, and they were showing the overselling, but they weren't mentioning it. That was probably one of my favorite moments in all of wrestling, is Shawn Michaels overselling Hulk Hogan every move.
But you know why? But you know why he oversold all of that, right?
Tell us, brother. St. Paul, tell us. Inform us. Inform the world.
So the thing is that Shawn mentioned that there was supposed to be a 3-match series between him and Hogan, and the thing was,
do the one.
Hogan and his ego got away again, bro.
That ain't gonna work for me, brother.
Facts. So Hogan, I think it was supposed to go down like Hogan was supposed to win one, and then Shawn was supposed to win the next one, or vice versa. Shawn was supposed to win this one, and Hogan would win the next one. Either way,
from what I understand, is they talked about doing the 3, like you said, but they only got as far as talking about the second match because Hogan said he wanted to go over in that one too.
Jesus Christ.
So they didn't even.
What Shawn wanted was 1-1, and then Hogan going over.
Right.
Because he's Hulk Hogan and the Icon. Right. He wanted to do the series with them. And then Hogan wanted no, I'm going over and everything. I'm 2-0-ing you. I'm closing you out. And for Shawn, that didn't work. And I mean, for me,
why would I even bring that up then? For you to go over me twice? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if you see the case here, when I do like a tour one day, you'll see I have a whole homage only specifically to Shawn Michaels. I have the replica belt, a bunch of different figures, bunch of VHSs, all that. I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan. So I will say this. At the time in which, especially with his return, Shawn Michaels was probably as over as he's ever been outside of the initial coming of DX. Mm-hmm. So, like, why wouldn't he want to go over? Of course, I'm not going to drop 2-0 to this guy. The guy who's about to put me down with a leg drop. Come on.
I seen a picture. It's actually ironic we're talking about this. I seen a picture today floating around on Twitter of the names Hulk Hogan has lost clean to, and it's only like 13 people.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Not very long for a 50.
That's not a long
career.
list for.
That's in. You know who's on the list? Triple H.
Of course. Of course.
Triple H.
You lost clean to Triple H?
Yeah, at fuck, I can't remember. I think
I know. I think it was a SmackDown show though.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I think it was.
Dude, for all the honestly, like I don't. My thing with Triple H is like I really, as a kid, again, did not like him because like he always won. But now that I'm older and like I understand like the business, I think he's one of the best like performers of all time. He's I mean, yeah, he does some shitty things like bury people and like fuck over Booker T and fucking his title win at WrestleMania. But like when it comes to psychology and working a match and overall working a character, he could be a babyface if he wants. He could be a fucking heel, and he can be the best heel in the fucking business.
Always.
I think, and I love in the Ruthless Aggression era when he was wearing like the purple and the blue and the red.
He switched it up, yeah.
Dude, I love that. It was like Harley
Race from the torn hamstring.
Mm-hmm. And how could you not respect something like that? Like, and he did it again when it was him and Shawn against Rated RKO. He fucking did it again, and he did the same thing. Finished the match. It's like, how can you not respect? Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. He has the reign of terror. Yes, we all fucking hated it, but at the end of the day, John Cena had a fucking reign of terror,
in a way,
which is why everybody hated him too.
But you gotta look at it like this: Triple H. I feel like Triple H put over more people than John Cena.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the time,
Won't
too,
be
like,
on it.
let's call it for what it was. I mean, at the time that John Cena was doing it, there wasn't as many great people that were actually getting super buried. There was great talent, but not as many as like the Triple H stuff. Really.
Well, if you talk about like
what could have been a lot of great
2006,
careers from WCW and ECW.
right? 2006 to 2010, though, there wasn't a lot that John Cena had killed, but 2010 on, like there is so much talent you could have like really built up.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
entire
the only
Nexus.
person I would say that I don't really disagree with
For
is that whole
example.
Ryback shit. I don't really fuck with that guy.
Oh, you
Yeah, see, it's like there's weird like situations like that with Ryback,
Right.
but then there's situations like the Nexus, and it's like okay.
Wade Barrett.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, what's your excuse for that? You know, like I get it, dude. Like, you want what's best for the company, and like sometimes that might come off selfish if you think it's you. And I totally understand. Like, that's probably a fucking shit situation to be in. But hindsight's 2020, obviously. Like when you look back, when we all look back on this shit, it's easy to say like, oh, they should have did that. But like at the time, like business was not good, you know. So like keeping Cena hot was really the only thing that was keeping him afloat.
Yeah. Or just trying to trade in the belt. Like I said, that belt tag,
Man.
him, Randy, Edge.
If you would have gave Wade Barrett just one run, just one run with the title, I feel like you would have flipped the entire narrative in WWE.
I was already checked out by that point, so I completely missed the Wade Barrett experiment.
Like the next, yeah.
Yeah, I had just seen pieces of it, like going back now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, like they had, you know, obviously now Jake Hager, they had him as Jack Swagger at that time. There was a lot. There was a lot more they could have done, but again, like you say, hindsight's 2020. We're now in the future looking back at it, and obviously as fans and hardcore fans, as which we all clearly are, that we're doing something like this. We could all have crazy and our own very verbal and vocal opinions about it. But yeah, let's keep going, my brother. So we've talked about a bunch of different matches, a bunch of different talent. My last question for you most likely is going to be this, man. So what is a dream match you'd love to photograph? And it doesn't need to be people who are currently signed to promotions you work for, you know. They can just wherever, whoever, whatever.
I really want to take pictures of Chief Keef.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Like really bad. Like if there's one person probably who I had to choose to take pictures of, it'd probably be Chief Keef, just because I'm from Chicago, and like that goes back into the whole thing I talked about in the beginning with me being like so involved in like the underground scene. I was so into music when he was hot, like, and you know, I was actually I'm lucky enough that I seen him perform at Rolling Loud in Florida. So I don't know if you guys know this. Chief Keef can't perform in Chicago.
Oh shoot.
He can't. The city won't let him. Like legit. The city won't let him. There was a hologram that performed at a festival, a Chief Keef hologram, and they shut down the fucking hologram.
But why won't they let him perform in Chicago? Like
because
of the riot? Like
yeah, because he's like a drill rapper, and like, you know, like he caught like, you know, all that shit. But like wrestler. I want, if there was one person, probably Jeff Hardy. I'd love to take like portrait, like those blackout pictures of like, you know, Jeff Hardy. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, man, shit, I can't even imagine. I'm a huge Hardy Boys guy.
Well, hopefully he's gonna be. Well, I mean, let's just fucking call a spade a spade. He's gonna be in AEW. So eventually, hopefully,
I vocal about it.
Yeah, especially after everything that happened. This, you know, God willing, hopefully his health and everything's in order. You know, obviously nobody knows the 100% facts of what happened this past weekend at the live event. With there's been rumors that he passed out in the ring and it came back too, and that's why he left. And then obviously him being sent home. But it looks like, I mean, just based off the weekend alone, it looks like a lot of guys are about to pop over. Jeff, Kyle, possibly, maybe, God willing. You know,
I'll ask you this before Jeff, Nick, who is it like that you would like to, you know, get a shot with in 2022, if it is possible?
Hopefully I get a chance to like work with Keith Lee.
Limitless.
Like anybody who really like recently got released, I like. I shot Braun Strowman's first match back.
Yeah, the Titan. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Which was lackluster.
Yeah,
it's not. It's just because I'm a huge fan of Hakeem Zayn and Jake something. Maybe I might be a little biased because I work with them a lot, but I think Hakeem Zayn is one of the most underrated wrestlers, talkers, promos, period, today. Like, seriously, if somebody is trying to get involved or like interested in like a new heel or something, like trying to dig their teeth into somebody new, and you don't know Hakeem Zayn, or Rohit Raju is what he's called in Impact, dude, he is so fucking good and he deserves so much more. Unfortunately, the show is just kind of like a meet and greet with like a little bit of wrestling. So Jake and Hakeem or Rohit just kind of worked over EC3 the whole match until like Braun got the babyface hot tag, and then that was it. Like I didn't even get like a Braun Strowman Jake something stare down. Like, and they're two big fucking mammoth men. That was a good opportunity.
Yeah.
But they just wanted a good
match.
well, for something like with something that has like all the legends, like fucking Deborah, Jeff Jarrett, Shannon Moore, fucking the Gun Club, the
event that
like they're not coming.
I get you.
They're not coming for the wrestling, like they're gonna be happy as long as they see Braun Strowman do this.
Go around
the ring, which he did. But anybody who really came out of WWE recently, I'd really like to work with. I got to shoot a Buddy Matthews match, which was fucking awesome.
Secret's out, my man.
The secret's out.
Yeah, definitely. Which match was it? Him and Malachi?
No, it was him and he wrestled. God damn, this is gonna piss me off. He wrestled somebody at Warrior, and now I'm gonna figure it out who it was because this is gonna piss me off. Chandler Hopkins. He's with I think he's with MLW.
Yes.
Chandler Hopkins. Yeah, he wrestled Chandler Hopkins.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, guys, you guys have heard it here with Nick. Nick's been with us, gracious enough to give us his time. Thank you so much for coming on to this show. We are pretty much done with the interview aspect of it. And guys, pre-show, Nick was kind enough to share some photos with us that we're going to be putting up here on the screen for everybody to see. Is just kind of give us some backstory, talk a little bit about what it is that's going on either in the photo or what went into the photo. So we appreciate it, guys. Just guys, as a reminder, please, if you are joining us here on the show and you see these photos, these are all original content, all of Nick Camera Guy Gimmicks. So please do not screen grab, do not try and do anything with these photos, or if you do post and share these photos, please make sure you guys give our man Camera Guy Gimmick the credit for his hard work. He is scouring the earth, giving these professional wrestlers and getting these events, getting these photos. So we do want to respect his quality of work and him as well, the same way you guys would respect us. And if you guys are still joining us, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that share, hit that follow on whatever platform you're joining us on. This is Talking Elite episode 5 with our boy Nick Camera Guy Gimmick. I'm Don Sean. This is Bro St. Polo, and we're gonna get into these photos now, guys. There's some pretty awesome photos here, and I can go in the order that they're in.
These photos are badass, bro.
Thanks.
Or I can just put them up randomly, and something is telling the Don Sean we're gonna go in a random order, and I think I'm gonna pick what may be, to me, an ominous and favorite photo currently that I've seen out of these 5 as the last one. But I would like to start with this photo here. Guys, you see this here on the screen. My man, Nick, tell us what is going on here in this photo. Where is this photo from?
So this is that's Mance Warner, obviously. Good old Mancer. That's from AAW's Defining Moment. Let me plug them real quick, guys, because I don't know if you guys are, if like you two are fans of independent wrestling. AAW is literally like exactly like Warrior Wrestling. They put on some of the top, not just shows in Chicago, but in independent wrestling. So definitely check them out if you haven't. They have a bunch of free matches up on YouTube, like Nick Gage versus Matthew Justice, and
yep, that's actually I do follow them. We are friends of them on the show on Instagram.
Sweet.
We follow them all over. That's
Yeah,
why I knew to ask you about the Sky Blue and Allison K thing.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So dude, this was a street fight between SGC and Infamy. It was specifically Mance and Manders against Joesa and Robin Steele. Joesa's normal partner, Dion Rooston, is out with injury. So this is a photo from that match where the titles were on the line and SGC failed to reclaim their lost titles. So Mance was sulking in defeat here.
Absolutely. I mean, look
Great
at that.
Fucking picture,
that's pretty fucking picturesque. Look at that.
Right.
Look at the blood spot. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
That
I'm
is
like looking
vicious.
deep into where the wound is starts. Jeez, man.
Ew.
So while we're talking about AEW, a defining moment, I mean, brother, St. Polo, do you want to talk a little bit about what you're seeing here in this photo?
I mean, I just see nothing. My man Mance is just looking dazed. My man Mance is just. I'm trying to look at it sideways, Don Sean. I'm like, geez.
Yeah, you see me too. I mean, look, I can tell you right now, just from seeing this, you can see the story. I mean, Nick, wow, and not even just guys. I'm not even just saying this because he's here on the show. I'm giving my honest opinion when I say this. You can see the story in his eyes, and the moment you captured, without a doubt, you can see that
That's
heartbreak,
a hell of a
like
moment,
you're saying, from not being able to regain the belt, the blood, just the combat aspect of it. He doesn't look so beaten and broken as more that he seems just beaten.
It's
and
more like a look
hearted.
of disbelief. Yeah, it looks like a picture of disbelief. So many emotions you could capture. You could just they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, man.
Hey,
shit.
You're right.
A million right there. Yeah, I'm gonna continue on. We have the defining moment right here, so I believe then this would probably be then the other side of that, huh?
All right, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Okay, here we go. Let's backtrack a little bit. That match that we just went over was actually a grudge match after SGC caused Infamy to lose their titles once they defeated SGC for them. So he was sulking in defeat because they did not get revenge, not because they lost their titles. They had already lost their titles. This picture here, I can't really talk about Kurt Stallion too much, but I'll talk about Jake. Jake and Kurt, I think this was their first or their second title defense. They since have lost. Well, Jake lost the belts at this past Windy City Classic. We had to get the belts off of them. I don't want to offend anybody because Stallion has said some comments, so I'm not gonna say anything about him.
Hey, you're like we said, brother. This house is your house, so
trust me, it's not me. I personally don't give a fuck, but I don't want to offend somebody, letting them know that I don't give a shit. So I'm not saying anything.
Nah, I get you.
Respect,
brother.
No doubt.
We respect, like we said, we definitely, guys, if you guys have watched the show, I mean, you heard us say it last week with the Renegade Twins. If you joined us in the prelude, you saw with the Machine Sam Shields as well as with Guapo Grande. We definitely don't like to get to social and political topics or anything like that. So we definitely appreciate that for sure. So, guys, moving on, we're going to look at one more.
Wait. Was someone shooting on here last week?
So?
Someone was shooting on here last week?
No, nobody was shooting. I mean, the entire interview is always pretty much a shoot, but nobody.
We always shoot here in the penthouse, man. Don't you worry.
Nobody was shooting on anything we don't want to talk about because they would have been thrown right out the penthouse, never to return.
Sure. Yeah.
But looking at one more AEW defining moment photo he shared with us, guys. We're gonna pull up, one of my favorite female wrestlers in the industry, Allison Kay.
Hey.
Yeah, dude, I've become a huge fan of Allison over the last year. She defeated Statlander for the belt. Don't remember exactly who she defended against at defining moment. But she has put on a number of good matches.
It wasn't Marty Bell? Didn't she wrestle her tag team partner, I believe, for that?
No. No, she. I don't know who she wrestled here actually. Dude, I shoot so many matches that sometimes it's hard to
It's A-okay. It's A-okay.
Look back, but but she had a really good match with Nicole Savoy. Really, her whole title run really honestly was kind of eye opening to me as a performer, as her being a performer. She's a pro's pro. She knows everything that a wrestler needs to know, like about working a match, and I think if she doesn't want to be signed, that she won't be. But if as long as that's what she wants out of her career, then she's going to be screwed up. I think.
Like a Planeteer, the power is yours.
Dude. I'll tell you something. She's probably one of the most. If the hottest is not a good word well, I guess with context, she is like one of the hottest female wrestlers, independent wrestlers, like period, not looks. I'm talking about work.
No, absolutely.
Backstage.
Listen, we understand what you're saying.
No, bro.
Right.
I gotta clarify. I gotta clarify for my own well-being here, for my own mental. But she's I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I love her. I think she is probably one of the most accomplished people who would consider independent. To me, she's not independent. She used to go by the name Sienna. For anybody who's not familiar, currently goes by the name Allison Kay. She's held multiple titles, including the NWA. You know what I mean? She's been there, done that. And like you said, as long as she doesn't want to be signed or be signed, I agree. The world's in her pocket, and I think she's going to bring a big crowd wherever she goes for sure. A beast in the ring. And then we're going to move on from this photo, guys. If you're a original fan of WCW and, just wrestling from the start, I think everybody's going to appreciate this photo. I can't wait to hear about it.
Oh, my man. Yes, sir. How did you get that shot? I must know.
This was at All Out. Or actually, this was at the Rampage before All Out. So, like, I shot the Dynamite, Rampage, and then All Out. So this was from the day before, yeah. I was actually like on the side of the ramp, and then he was just walking down the ramp to make his entrance with Darby. I think Darby was wrestling Daniel Garcia that night. Yeah, fucking great, dude. Honestly, that I got that. This picture is hanging downstairs on my wall on a piece of like acrylic, 24 by 36, like 1/4 inch thick acrylic.
Shit, yeah, I'm thinking like if you're ever into selling a print, I'm a shit.
I will take. I'm a huge Sting fan, my man.
Yeah,
I will take it.
Name
your price.
I'll do a plug actually, since you guys are bringing up prints. I am a print operator, like as a shoot. That's my job. So like, this is a sticker.
Oh, let me get this photo off. Yeah, put that up.
Okay. All right, let me see. Sticker. I got some prints. Damn. I got some prints here.
You got the Pokemon poster.
Oh my god.
Punk. It's Punk in color.
And black and white. I love it.
Miro. God's favorite.
These are somebody ordered these. Punk and Darby.
Tell them I will buy whatever he wants.
Yeah, man. Plug that site. Plug that link. Go ahead. Go for it, my brother.
Well, it's actually just DM me because, like I said, it's my shoot job. So like I handle all my orders like personally directly. So I'll literally print them myself and like pack it up and ship it to you and all that shit. So
awesome, guys. So if you guys would like to do that, you guys gotta go ahead and get on Cameraguygimmick. Shoot him a DM, guys. I'm gonna put it up on the bottom for you guys in just a second so you guys can see. But it pretty much is the name he has there. He literally has it there himself as well at Cameraguygimmick, if you guys are paying attention and seeing that. And in just 1 second, I'm gonna head and get that last photo up for sure. But let's talk. I saw you doing stickers. You do stickers as well as the photos.
Well, like any print, like any like vinyl, acrylic, plastic, like magnets, anything like that. I do.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. All right, guys, as you guys see, we have the handle right there. Take a look at Cameraguygimmick if you guys are interested in any of the prints, stickers, shoot job. You heard it here first. Shoot him a DM and he'll take care of that personally with you guys. But as we keep moving forward, guys, let's look at this last photo here and just get a little bit of in-depth behind it. the guy, Violence Unlimited,
Damn.
former member of Villain Enterprise, which I'm sure he definitely doesn't want to be associated with all the stuff that happened with Marty and all that. But that was definitely when I became a huge Brody Lee fan. So Brody King fan, rather. Sorry. Knock on wood. God rest his soul, man. Obviously, you're thinking about our podcast. A Brody King fan, rather. So just talk us through about this a little bit.
I was very nervous to take this picture. He's one of the guys who I really wanted to work with all year, so that's kind of why I had like so much. When you're taking like a portrait or a promo picture, it's a lot different than in ring, obviously. But I only have like a few shots to get it right because I don't want to annoy somebody by like asking them to stand there and let this fucking flash go off in their face because I can't get my shit together. So I was a little nervous, but it actually turned out way better than I expected. I got a few different photos of them, but this is the one that I used. And this is going to be in the photo zine that I just put up for pre-order, which contains 18 wrestlers total in this style art, or however you want to describe it, in a magazine type thing. So it's basically like an autograph book. You know what I mean? Like you can like take it and get it signed by whoever's in there.
That's super awesome. And you said this is up for pre-order?
Yeah, it's on Cameraguygimmick.bigcartel.com for $14, I think.
Hey, I think you're gonna definitely get an order out of me later today.
You'll get an order out of me. Shoot.
Thanks, it's a collaborative effort with me and AAW, so it's like it was my project that I started doing. I would do pictures like this for all different promotions, but they want to do something with it. So I've been in like PWI and shit, which is cool, obviously. But I think putting this like photo zine out is gonna be like probably like my most proud.
Oh hell yeah! This is your like Lou, like is this like your first like major kind of project or
of anything? Yeah. I mean I've sold prints and shit, but like I've never put out a book, so it's not like it's like
just what you said, like a print book to get like an autograph book. That's that's super
in terms
important.
Of like a massive project,
today's day and age.
It's a good concept. I just try to leave it open for future editions by not, because like there's only 18 wrestlers, but at the same time, like think about how long it might take you to fill up a flyer full of autographs with wrestlers that might be on that show. So like in that time it's going to take for somebody to fill up a book, I can get the next one ready.
Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
Impressive.
Damn, that really is impressive. My brother, I know in the beginning you kind of mentioned that you're getting your setup set up, that there's something coming from you and AAW, a collaborative podcast. Did you want to take a moment and speak on that a little bit, or is that something that you really don't want to share too many details on quite yet?
No, yeah. So we're still like ironing out the details. Yeah, pretty much how much you can stamp. That's a good comparison.
Hell yeah.
We're like ironing out the details right now. We did like a pilot episode type thing on the Backstage Boys feed, which is Trent, who is a producer at AAW, and then Basil, who is BZ. He's a photographer. You've probably seen some of his shit too, but we did a pilot episode on their stream, which is available on the Backstage Boys YouTube, and then also SoundCloud and fucking Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. But we're just going to go over like shows that had just passed. Like, for example, we just had the Windy City Classic. So we're going to be going over the card, who won, show some pictures, have guests come in that were on the show, like Gringo Loco or fucking Ren Jones or Fred Yehai or whoever, have them come on, talk about it. We're also going to like review old AAW shows. So it's just going to be like a cool review type thing that we do. I think it's going to launch in 2022, like actually launch.
Awesome. I mean, hey, I know we're
We'll
definitely
be
excited
looking forward for that one.
ginormous fans of the industry as a whole. So without a doubt, definitely guys look out for that. If you guys just joined us, thank you guys so much. Talking Elite episode 5 with Cameraguygimmick. Nick, as you guys heard him say, he is indeed getting something together with AAW. Like our boy Danny comments, it's something similar to like the Passport. It is like a photo zine, 18 photos, something he's been working very hard, dedicating his time into. A book for you to pretty much fill up with autographs. You guys can get that at cameraguygimmick.bigcartel.com. For a fair and affordable price, guys. That's the most important part, guys.
Oh yeah, that's the best price I've heard for an autograph book.
Doesn't break your wallet to be a wrestling fan with this.
In moons. Best price I've heard for in moons for autograph book.
But absolutely, guys, you can catch our boy here at Warrior Wrestling, at AAW, at other events, sometimes AEW. You can catch his work all over social media, all over PWI, everywhere. Just, guys, remember, if you guys see his photo not getting credited or something, make sure you guys are reporting that or making sure that you're commenting his name to make sure he gets the credit he deserves. Shout out to all the photographers out there that do work their asses off. But shout out to you, Nick. Thank you so much for coming on to Talking Elite and giving a different perspective.
Appreciate you for your time in the penthouse, bro.
You got to fit that tagline in there,
huh? Always.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I know I could be long-winded at times, but
we appreciate the long-windedness, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how long your shows usually are, so. For all I know, this could go like
2+ hours. So okay, shit, cool. If you want to stay and talk all night, we could stay and talk all night. We're those.
Don't tempt me, dude. Don't tempt me. No, if you guys ever want me back, dude, seriously, I'm
absolutely, brother. You are more than welcome back anytime. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for everything. Have a blessed holiday. Do your thing, man. And I will be in touch, and we'll definitely have a return to the show, and I'm sure with many more updates to these great plans and things you have going on. But definitely we'll be in touch with you most likely after we're done, because I definitely want to see what's up with that print stuff.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate your time, brother.
See you guys.
We'll meet again soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.
I think we're just getting better and better with these guests on, Sean, I tell you.
Hey, man, guys, that has been Nick, also known as Cameraguygimmick. You can follow him on social media. Like he said, I got to get the tagline in, guys. As you can see under us, this is literally what it is, guys. It is a different perspective into what it means to be in the pro wrestling and combat sports environment. If you are a trainer, if you are a photographer, if you're a producer, a promoter, a manager, somebody who is regionally competing, somebody who is amateurly competing, somebody who's long endeavored into their professional career, we are always more than welcome to.
We don't discriminate in the penthouse, man.
It is about a different perspective. As you guys will see, we're going to be releasing more and more content on our social media. You guys will see we have some pretty cool events coming up. One of them that I know me and brother St. Polo are not 100% ready to announce the details on yet, but something we're both really excited for is we're going to do an all-fan episode where we can get up to 8 other fans in the show with us. So, guys, be on the lookout for that.
How much chaos that will be when we have that episode, bro?
It's going to be insane. I'm going to have to figure out how to silence Silencio Bruno.
I am ready. I am ready for the madness. For that
absolutely, man. You know, tonight after the show, we are going to indeed be announcing the winner of the Supreme giveaway. Thank you to all those who entered. So stay tuned for that as well. But guys, we have so many cool events happening. We have another guest coming next week, guys. 3 guests in a row. This is a Talking Elite first. You know, we kind of just wanted to bring on strong after. Sorry, guys. Going a little long, our first 2 episodes and not really doing much for you guys since the prelude. We will also be having a returning guest as well in the new year, most likely, or just before the new year. So that's something to look out for. So shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to everybody who is following us all over all of our social medias. I'm going to, shamelessly plug us right now, guys. You can follow us right there. You can go to any one of those profiles and click on the link. It will take you to a link tree, and there you will see where we can get all of our content. We are still working and waiting to get approved to get put on Apple Music, Spotify, and all the other places where your podcasts are housed and where you get your podcasts. So, guys, we are episode 5, and we are still coming on strong. Shout out to everybody who's followed us. Again, shout out to Cameraguygimmick Nick for sharing these amazing photos with us. Just one last time, I just want to just kind of share these photos with you guys. It's going to be very quick. And one last time, again, if you do see these photos, make sure you guys are giving the appropriate credit where the credit is indeed due.
Love, or we'll find you.
But yeah, man, I mean, look at this. Just look at his work. Make sure you guys give him a follow.
Please go back to that picture, dude. Because when you, I'm just like mesmerized. Like, how the hell did he get in on that wound? Bro, that you can see the blood just gushing from the wound, dude.
Insane. Let's make sure you guys see right there. That's who all credit goes to. Cameraguygimmick, Allison K, Sienna, hosting up the belt.
Some of the best shots in the game, man. I tell you.
Brody King, and then once again,
and then the Stinger himself.
Icon Sting, guys.
Best shots in the Indies right now.
That has been part 5, our interview right here with our boy Cameraguygimmick. So thank you guys so much. Without further ado, guys, I'm gonna just drop the cutscene in again one time real quick.
It's your boys.
It is your boys.
It's your boys.
We are going to continue, guys, but we're not going to continue much longer, guys. We are giving a different type of episode today where typically you guys will see us finish an interview and kind of go into the news that occurred this week. Guys,
boy, we got a crap ton of news, Don Sean.
So, guys, guess what we decided to do with that? We decided to join you guys since we've been doing some interviews, getting some background or a different perspective. Again, as we like to say, I will plug that 1,000 times. Don't worry, I'm shameless about it. Guys, we're going to talk a little bit about us, and our bro St. Paul's going to start it. And then, guys, guess what? We are going to be giving you a second episode this week. That is right. We are airing on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that you guys will get all your wrestling news, all your combat sports news from the weekend. There's been so much that happened, guys.
We got a lot coming up.
We don't want to do an interview and then try and rush through all that great news for you guys. So we're going to dial it in, get it ready, and you guys will catch us Thursday with all the news. But without further ado, we're going to get right into these about me's, and I'm starting with my bro St. Polo. Hit him, baby. Let him know what's going on.
The sport of pro wrestling has just been like a huge part of my life. So this is when you called me on to do this show, Don Sean, I felt like the one thing we had in common was definitely professional wrestling. And of course, like MMA and boxing, like they played a big factor. I remember like watching Tyson, Lennox Lewis growing up, but like nothing had the aura of watching, a Stone Cold Steve Austin or Undertaker or even Shawn Michaels, and when I started watching wrestling, I caught the tail end of the first Shawn Michaels run. And of course, like Nick said when he came on the show, like Hell in a Cell stuck out the most times, like literally that very first Hell in a Cell match between him and The Undertaker. That's really probably what caught my eye into getting into like this thing called wrestling. Watching guys like Stone Cold and his attitude problems and defying authority, like him and DX and their like rage against the system, it gave a different feel to how I looked at things, especially in how I looked at things in the world and how we went into school the next day and just sometimes told our teachers to suck it or like flip the bird and all that good stuff. You feel me? All that good stuff. That was like one of the intriguing things that I loved about pro wrestling because you were so innocent, but you would go into the real world the next day and just mock whatever these guys are doing on TV. And it was just like, it was one of the cool things about loving the sport, but I fell in love with the sport at 3 years old. And just like, of course, I feel like I can't speak for my brother Don Sean here, but I've had a falling out period in the last few years. It was one of those businesses that didn't give you a lot, especially with WWE in like the early 2010s. But then when you start branching out and then you have the option to go into like TNA or even Wrestling Society X at one point, or even Lucha Underground when they were starting to come up, you found like the alternatives were coming, but you didn't it wasn't as like, how can I put it? as eclectic,
prominent and as defined
right,
as it is right now.
As it is right now, exactly. So I feel like the time period that we're in terms of pro wrestling and this is really a boom period for pro wrestling. This is really a renaissance period for pro wrestling. And like the one thing I love is that is what we're like witnessing right now. I love the fact that we're able to talk about this. I love the fact that, coming into this, we didn't know what to expect, Sean. We didn't know what to expect coming into this show. So about me, all in a nutshell, understand I love combat sports, but professional wrestling is definitely like one of the main things, if not the main thing, that has hooked me on, that has grasped me into doing Talking Elite. And that's why we're on this journey. That's why we're on this ride. I appreciate every bit of it. And man, oh man, like I can only hope that this is a trajectory that we get even better and better going forward.
I appreciate that, brother. I definitely appreciate having you along for the ride, guys. This is Talking Elite. Don Sean and Bro St. Polo. We present a different perspective. It's just, guys, we're not just fans. We are hardcore fans. We are impassioned by it. We've competed in some form of combat sport, trained for some form of combat sport, and we're just kind of sharing our side of it. So, guys, if you guys will indulge me a little bit, I'm going to run an interview with our Bro St. Polo, almost as if he's a guest on the show, just so you guys can get a little more information about it. Shout out to you, David. Thank you so much for everything. We do appreciate it as well. All your support always, for all the shares and the likes. We do see you. So thank you. Thank you very much. We talked about what got you into wrestling. So let's talk about, so what would you say was your favorite promotion growing up then, Bro St. Polo? Was it
coming
WCW?
Up?
Was it ECW?
Oh,
WWF?
I gotta
watching the Monday Night Wars.
I gotta go back in time because, like, I gotta thank my grandmother for getting me into the sport, man. Like, if there's anything in this world, like, I cherish is that my grandmother, like, she was a diehard wrestling fan in the 80s. She grew up in the 70s and the 80s. She grew up on Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund, Ivan Putski, Dusty Rhodes. The list can go on and on and on. She would always have stories. She saw, like, I wish I had, like, one of the pictures that she had, but she has, like, from old programs from Madison Square Garden from back in the day that she kept. Yeah, bro, like the works. And I mean, like growing up, so my house like was a flicking back and forth kind of deal when I was coming up. So we were flicking back from Raw to Nitro back in the 90s. But overall, I feel like, of course, like after 99, like WWE took over. Like WWF going into WWE took over that, spectrum for me. It was like the characters that had more power than the dudes in WCW. I felt like the Triple H's, the Rocks, the Austins, the Takers, the Mick Foleys, they had more weight and they were gaining more traction than the DDPs, the Stings, the Goldbergs, even the Jeff Jarrett's of the world.
Wow, yeah.
So definitely like WWE was definitely more prominent. ECW, something, and we'll probably get into this on Thursday's show, but ECW, like, I don't think I got much of ECW until they got the TNN deal. And when they got the TNN deal, I mean, it was kind of towards the tail end of their run. It was
very towards the tail end, yeah.
It was towards the tail end, but I will always like wake up at like 2-3 a.m. in the morning one day and just see like the old school deals, like seeing like Bam Bam Bigelow getting tossed through the stage by Taz.
Insane.
Yeah, I remember watching stuff like that, so it's definitely like I said, it was more so WWE that caught me, but I was an eclectic guy when it came to the sport, man. Like I loved any bit of it that I could watch or get my hands on. I was definitely like open to it.
Yeah, I mean, I bet, man. I'm sure there's so many names you can name right now, much like myself, that many of the newer generation of fans wouldn't know, or
probably wouldn't get.
Many of the older generation of fans might have even forgotten because they've been so far removed.
Right.
But definitely. But speaking of that, I mean, and just speaking of everything, then let's talk about it, man. Who's your favorite male wrestler of all time?
Damn. So I feel like I don't get this question a lot, but honestly, coming up, my favorite male wrestler would have to have been The Rock.
Like Rocky Maivia or The Rock?
No, The Rock. No. So die Rocky die. Not like that. No, but at this stage, like the way he presented himself on the mic, his charisma, it made me want to like, do all of that. It made me want to like, turn that some bitch sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass.
Oh my God. I was doing that. What you mean? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh my God. If my teacher would ask me something in class, I was going off. I'd be like, why'd you ask me that? It doesn't
matter why you ask me. Yeah, bro. Like when you get like the power that The Rock had, like to just gain the attention of a crowd like that, that's just inspiring stuff. But overall, like I'll definitely say him. But like as I got older, I definitely grew a way more bigger appreciation for Chris Jericho. I definitely like grew a bigger appreciation for Jericho like over time because my man has just aged. Like him and Orton, like they're two people in the business. They've aged like fine wine. Like literally.
I loved Jericho since the Lionheart days. And I loved him since the ECW times too. So I won't lie, like Jericho didn't need to grow on me. It was just one of those things. Like when he was the first undisputed champion, I went nuts. I went nuts.
I didn't expect it.
Rock, Austin, The Rock, Triple. You beat the pillars, right? If we want to go pillar wise, you beat the pillars.
Those are basically the pillars of the Attitude Era.
In one night,
right? Like, don't get me wrong.
To lose the belts.
This is no slouch to Kurt Angle because Kurt Angle was the fourth man in that whole like match that took place. But damn, like you bypassed Kurt and you beat Rock and Austin. I don't think you have anybody else on that resume who's done, not even Triple H, believe it or not.
Not the same night.
Exactly on the same night, right? In the same night, So it really goes hand in hand to like, like Jericho has really been the consummate guy for like the last 20 years in wrestling.
Absolutely, and the guy
reinvented,
still over as ever. Dips to go sing for Fozzy, comes back and. Still over. Came
and
back
that's what I'm
the
saying.
List,
like,
left, came back the Painmaker. The man
at 52, the man like he finds ways to consistently reinvent himself and make himself better. So I'm like, I look at it like this. You'll hear people say, "Oh, he's slow, he's fat." Listen, my man can still outperform some of these other cats that you see working with the feds. So don't give me that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't give me that. So. Like I said, like out of like my favorite male wrestler all time, it's a toss up between Jericho and The Rock, really and truly.
Yeah, hey, we hear you. So while we're still there, then let's talk about your favorite current male wrestler. Who's your favorite current male wrestler?
Damn, man.
Because then you could kind of split it and say, okay, The Rock and Jericho.
Well, yeah, current male wrestler, dude. Like the crop that is out there right now. And I'm like, I'll even include the indies, dude. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous amount. But if I had to choose like one, my favorite current male wrestler right now, it's got to be Maxwell Jacob Friedman. It's got to be them. It's got to be Earth. It's got to be MJF, man. Like he takes his heel roll to a T.
That's his life. I don't even think it's a role.
That's what I'm like,
anymore.
I'm very much intrigued to see how this man is going to get reacted to in his hometown tomorrow night. Because I don't think there better not be a single soul in that UBS arena that boos that man. So the way he's praised Long Island these last few weeks, there better not be a single soul that boos that man tomorrow night.
The only place he's ever praised is Long Island, New York.
I would hope so. Sean, I would hope so, brother. I would hope so.
We'll see. We will see the praise he gets tomorrow. And then guys will definitely be talking about it on Thursday's episode. We will call that episode 5.5. So
I can dig that.
Just so you guys know. So while we talked about the males, let's talk about the females, brother. Who's your favorite female wrestler of all time?
God damn it. Coming up, I would have gave you an answer that said either Trish Stratus or Lita.
Yeah, we know why, though.
But, given how women's wrestling has just like, man, it really is an evolution of women's wrestling. Because you and I were coming up, we didn't have what we're witnessing right now. Believe it or not. We had like evening
the bra and panties matches.
Right. We had those kind of deals. And don't get me wrong, it was cool to see, but it was just like, damn, like it's now like to a point where like women are like now getting the the spot that they should have had years ago, but men had like taken that spot. You know, they were taking it, if not like they had overtaken it. But overall, like my favorite women's wrestler right now, it's got to be Britt Baker. It's got to be Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. You know, at DMD, dude. She's given like, man, oh man, like even from the vignettes that you see her do when she first got into AEW, she has grown so much since AEW's inception, and for her to have the women's world title, like I feel like she's gonna break Hikaru Shida's run.
Yeah,
at
this point, that's what it's looking like.
That's what it's gonna look like. I feel like she will go back to back double or nothings, and she'll hold it to All Out if that's the case. But honestly, like the way she has like carried herself, the way she consummate professional at all times is Britt Baker. Like I personally, and this is just from why I personally have not met her, but like damn it, like in the scope of women's wrestling today.
So you would say all time and currently is Britt Baker?
Oh, okay. All time?
I was gonna say, damn.
Currently is Britt Baker. All time though, you got me on this one because, damn, it's just like a kind of a question because like all time women's wrestler.
Out of all the generations, you're telling me there's not one women's wrestler who stood out above and beyond that you could say is my favorite of all time.
Bro, outside of Trish Stratus.
So claim it. Claim it.
All time, bro. Yeah, I mean, I gotta show love to my Canadians, but damn, like, yeah, like when it comes to like all time, yeah, both men's and women's, like they like.
Oh, look at that! We got 2 votes for China. Look at that.
2 for China. For China? I mean, yo, let me tell you something. Literally, in terms of like power game and everything, I give it to China. But damn sure, like in terms of like the technician wise and showmanship, I'll probably give it to Trish over everybody else. I give it to Trish over everyone else. Like she definitely like did the damn thing when she first got in 2000.
I mean, I think it goes to kind of like just if you guys caught last week when Robin and Charlotte were speaking about it, just kind of like the things they allowed themselves to be subjected to than to where they got. You know, at the time, you know, Trish was more used for like the beauty gimmick, right? Like she was and this is how it starts. It started the same way with Sable, right? You're beautiful and they have you accompanying people, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, can you do it? I love Trish because she actually took the time to get better at wrestling. Whereas outside of the ring, Sable didn't care.
And you know something, Sean? I would put like Charlotte or Becky or like any of the horsewomen. Well, you got to realize like they're still going right now. So my answer would change. Like will probably change in a few years. You know, because right now Charlotte, her resume is speaking for herself. Even though, yes, they'll probably put the title on her too many times, but like, has she not earned it? Okay, we had that. Okay,
we can talk about it. I mean, we can talk about it.
But you know what? We spoke
so much
on that
to unpack with that, right? Like,
the very first prelude episode, you said she's not. I think I recall you saying she's not really deserving of all those championship reigns, but
not a 14 in a 6-year stretch, no, or 11 in a 6-year stretch, whatever it is she's at right now.
Yeah, well, right, yeah, I think right now, yeah, she's at like 11 or 12, and like pretty much since 2013.
You know,
but overall, I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with Charlotte and Becky, Bayley and these ladies, I can't give it to them just yet.
I mean, AJ, there were so many.
Exactly. AJ. Well, man,
AJ,
I don't think AJ gets
knockout style. You can go Melina when she was with Nia.
AJ doesn't get the roses that she deserves sometimes. You know,
she doesn't.
I feel like she's like really the unsung hero of the whole thing. Like, yes, Paige like skyrocketed it, but in terms of AJ and the role she had, man,
well, Paige skyrocketed because AJ did the job
because AJ did the honors, right?
And that was after AJ's dominant run, and then just all of a sudden on a Monday Night Raw, Paige gets called
the night
back,
after WrestleMania, basically, yeah.
Bye.
So it's just like, and that was really, I think that was the last time we saw AJ in the ring.
Yeah,
pretty much
one of the last few times, yeah.
So it's like, damn, like yeah, that the greatest women's wrestler of all time to me. Yeah, that was a toss up in my.
All right, man. Hey, I respect it. Well, then let's just kind of we heard about your favorite heels. Definitely MJF. We know that. That's what's going down. In regards to your current favorite male wrestler. So let's talk about what's your favorite finisher, man?
Favorite finisher.
Whether it be submission, finishing slam, anything.
Man, believe it or not, I'm a big fan of the sharpshooter.
I love the sharpshooter. Who
like
wouldn't
if I am a pro wrestler, that is like one of the submission maneuvers I would have in my arsenal at all times.
All times.
Like at all times. I was saying it the other day how Finn Balor and I know Penta uses it. I think I've seen Penta use it like very, very rarely, but Finn uses it. Seth used to use it. I haven't seen him use it as much. But it's a sling blade, basic maneuver, but damn it, it looks effective as all hell.
We got the People's Elbow. Vote for the People's Elbow online.
Who does it? Yeah, come on now.
Got the DC Game in 2K. People's Elbow online. He said that's his favorite. So what's your least favorite finisher then?
Least favorite? God damn. Least favorite finisher. I always hate when Mr. Anderson did the mic check. I don't know why, but it just never looked effective. It just never really, like, you're just planting somebody face first. I mean, the way you probably the way you embrace the maneuver, you could like do something with it. But dude, yeah, no. I just never was a big fan of that. Never a big fan of like the face first, falling on your face the whole nine,
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely get that. So then let's talk about your favorite match, man. What's your favorite match of all time?
God almighty. One I could just go back and just look at like consistently, have no problem with. I have to go. Damn.
Guys, you guys see it, our bro St. Polo.
Guy, you got me on that one.
I'm gonna give him a second to think about it, guys. So while he takes a second to think about it, I'm gonna shamelessly, as always, plug our social medias. If you guys are joining us now, you guys are joining us a little bit late. We did have Cameraguygimmick on the show. He spoke with us for about an hour, gave us some insight to behind the scenes and what it's like to be a pro wrestling photographer. And now we're just kind of getting into a little bit about me for anybody who's curious about who is Don Sean, who is Bro St. Polo, what gives these guys the opportunity or the belief that they are here to talk about pro wrestling and combat sports and such. So this is what we're doing, guys. Just kind of giving you guys a little bit of insight into who we are, why we love pro wrestling and combat sports. And so we're here, guys. Just right now, Bro St. Polo, just talking about what's going on. And here you guys are. The last question we asked him is his favorite match of all time.
Favorite match of all time? Oh, man. I have to go, honestly. I must go with Rock Austin WrestleMania 17. Like the second match of their trilogy, I have to that's probably like one match I'll just like from start to finish. Like literally I can watch that match almost anytime. I wouldn't get bored. Maybe the ending, probably I'll skip through the ending, but like outside of that, the match itself was just like a brawling masterpiece from start to finish.
Yeah, it absolutely was. It was one of the best matches.
It was like
WrestleMania.
Like two guys like really who like not really known for being high flyers, not really known for being like, doing high risk maneuvers. You just go out there and brawl for 30 minutes. You sold me. You definitely sold me. I'm a guy that, don't get me wrong, you could tell me a story with flips and whatnot, but damn it, you could tell your story through your mouth and then like just running with fists.
Yeah, those two
I dig it.
mud holes in each other's.
I dig it.
As well. So then, my brother, my thing with you for my last pro wrestling question is what is a dream match you love to see then, man? Just with the current state or even with the past, icons of the past. I mean, you can go as far as Bruno Sammartino if you so choose. What is a dream match you would love to see, whether it be video game or anything?
Dream match I would like to see. Huh. Something, for some odd reason, if he was still here, this match would just intrigue me a lot just because of their promo skills. I mean, I know we're getting a lick of Max and Punk right now, but I would have liked to see Max and Owen Hart.
MJF.
MJF and Owen Hart. Believe it or not. I just don't. I don't know why. There's a lot of matches I would have loved to have seen with Owen, but and just knowing like how he carried himself in and out of the ring, like there's just a plethora of matches I personally would like to see with I would have loved to have seen with Owen Hart. Definitely, I'm probably gonna name a few which goes off the topic, but definitely we would have gotten it at 22 at Mania 22, Eddie Guerrero versus Shawn Michaels. Yes. Like I would have loved to see how that story would have turned out. Yeah, man, it's just like outside of that, I think Eddie and Shawn probably would have been like the one match I would have loved to see.
Cage Dive Mick Foley versus Triple H 97.
SummerSlam.
Yes, sir.
It was SummerSlam. Yes,
that was SummerSlam 97. It was.
You are correct, my brother. You are 100% correct.
Man ripped off the Mankind shirt and became Dude Love, you know?
That was it.
Man was Dude Love that night.
It was over. It was over. So, guys, that was just a little bit of insight here to our bro St. Polo, just giving us a different perspective. If you guys kind of heard some of those questions before a little bit, they are kind of from our standard interview sheet. We pretty much, we run the script. So almost like it was practice right there, my brother, right there.
Almost,
just kind of working on through that.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool just kind of getting a little more insight, just a little bit about Bro St. Polo's story, guys, and just everybody engaging and actively commenting with us. Thank you, guys. If you guys are just joining us, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that heart, hit that share, hit that subscribe, hit that follow, wherever it is you're joining us. I'm going to throw up the social medias again, and then I'm kind of just going to get into Don Sean's.
Right.
I'm not sure if my brother St. Polo wants to run an interview style like I did.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, absolutely. You were about to, yeah.
But I'm definitely going to go ahead and speak. Guys, my name is Don Sean. For those of you guys who know me personally, you guys know I've been a huge wrestling fan my entire life. I still am to this day. Not just wrestling, pro wrestling, combat sports as a whole. MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, everything. I trained for much of my life in MMA and amateur wrestling. I was an amateur wrestler here in the state of New Jersey. Saw some relative success for sure where I was and in my area. I was definitely probably one of the better ones. Not the best. That spot is solely reserved for my brother, Willie Rodriguez, who just recently was actually inducted into the Union City High School Hall of Fame for wrestling. So shout out to him, first wrestler inducted into the Hall of Fame for that. But because of him, he kind of got me into wrestling. But I won't lie, guys, I was really upset my first day on the amateur wrestling mats because it wasn't WWF, it wasn't ECW, it wasn't You're telling me I can't jump off the top of this building where we're training for wrestling and throw an elbow drop or a splash on somebody? It was crazy. So my beginnings are pretty much probably like any other wrestling fan. I would wrestle once again, God rest his soul, my brother Alex and all of our friends in the various places that we moved around to. We would just find ourselves either in the yard or in the park around wherever we lived and just kind of wrestling with our friends and wrestling amongst ourselves. We would be wrestling inside the house. Huge shout out to my older brother, Lewis. It's for him, due to him really bringing tapes around and everything that he did, recording him for us. And, back in the day when you could record a VHS and just have to tape and label everything, he really brought these things into my life huge and really made me such a fan. Toys, the rings, the Titantrons, a lot of it, they made sure I had it. And I definitely got to say, without a doubt, it was a lot of that and the encouragement I received from being such a wrestling fan that allowed me to really dive and fall in love, because it really is. I've been through some interesting times and some dark places. I am an Army veteran. I was a medic and stuff. And even through some of those times, wrestling has always been there in my life. Pro wrestling, combat sports, MMA, formerly Pride FC. We had a bunch of those tapes and DVDs. I've mentioned before in the Prelude series, if you guys watch, my brother Lewis pretty much owns UFC 1 through like 150 something on DVD, not missing a beat, almost all of them. Including all of the Pride FC stuff, Rumble on the Rock, which is an old promotion, if you guys remember, from the Hawaiian Islands and stuff like that. This runs deep, the lineage, for me personally. Without him and my brother Alex constantly supporting how much I loved combat sports and wrestling. You know, at the time I didn't really have cable growing up, guys, so I couldn't watch Raw like that. It really was me waiting for the tapes, you know, or I would go and, you know, this is back in the day when you can put on the static channel and just try and listen your best to what's happening. You know, that's actually speaking of the Goldberg Elimination Chamber situation. That's literally how I watched that on static. And I remember hearing so many breaking glasses. I thought that Goldberg was just spearing everybody through the Elimination Chamber. And then, you know, obviously, you know, when we finally get to watch the replays, it was very different that you got to see. But, you know, it was really cool. You know, my brother Lewis used to make sure he bought, you know, a couple of the main pay-per-views for us every year. And then he always pretty much told me he would take me to an event. The first ever live thing I ever went to in regards to wrestling, guys, was called WWE's Number One Fan. I've shown Bro St. Polo here the sign. I do have like an autograph card from that day. It has like Jimmy Hart's, Maria's signature from when she was first around the WWE. The Miz, literally when he was like a month into his career, as far as like MVP and a few others. So it was really that moment that for me as well, going live and getting the autographs, that was like, I will forever be and will always be a wrestling fan for sure. But some just with the tapes and everything going on, ECW person at that time was my favorite. Just how wild those boys were, you know, seeing them just, you know, we have it right here. David mentioned it earlier, the anywhere matches. That's really how ECW was. You know, like AEW does it a lot now, but ECW was the first place you could really watch and see matches going into the crowd and really being wrestled in the crowd, tables getting set up in the crowd, chairs, you know, all this wild shit happening. ECW did that for me. I'll never forget watching the tape of when Shane Douglas dropped the NWA belt. You know what I mean? And then like that was really because it was Eastern Championship Wrestling or whatever it was then. And then it became, you know, the ECW that we went to know and love. The franchise, you know, shout out to him for that, because that to me is one of the biggest moments that sold me. Was one of the first tapes I watched. So that was really, and then as well as like this, another tape that was probably one of the first tapes that really did it for me too was Spring Stampede, I believe 84 or 86. It's one of them, and it has Flair, Steamboat. It still has Surfer Sting and a bunch of the older wrestlers. So it was a big thing for me, just kind of getting all these different tapes and seeing the old school wrestling as well as at the time what was newer school wrestling. It was just different. So it really sold me, guys. So that's just a little bit about that, my little monologue, and then I'll let my bro St. Polo kind of ask me the questions before I get into what my favorite thing going on was.
I was about to say you kind of like dipped and delved into most of the questions, but I know you said heavily what you said ECW was like kind of the one you leaned towards, but did you have like any other ones coming up or any other promotions?
Yeah, I mean, just like anybody else, you know, the WWF, you know, at the time was still WWF. It was before the whole get the F out thing, where I was kind of watching it on TV and starting able to watch it on TV. Sorry, guys. The WWF, right? And then the WCW, my brother, like I said, was a huge Goldberg fan. And then, you know, as a kid, young adolescent, the Nitro Girls were the shit to me. I was loving that. I was like, what? And then, you know, Big Papa Pump had all the ladies with him.
Sean, you saw Ready to Rumble, and then you saw the Nitro Girls were...
You know what the funny thing is? I saw Ready to Rumble the night it premiered because my brother Lewis actually used to manage a movie theater at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Connecticut. So shout out to that. So I saw that in theaters. And I'll never forget because David Arquette really won the damn belt in WCW like around the time. I was sick. At that point in time, I was hating WCW. But yeah, I liked them all, man. I won't lie to you. There was never really one that I was like, oh, this is my favorite. I would pretty much try and get one on tape, watch one. I loved WCW. I loved Harlem Heat. I loved the Cruiserweight division, Halloween Havoc 98, you know, Eddie and Ray. There was so much Vampiro, Juventud Guerrero, you know, Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, The Cat, you know, Disco Inferno, Jesus Christ, you know, Buff Bagwell. Buff is the stuff. The NWO getting so big with the Disciple, and then Little Nate with, you know, Charles Robinson.
Yeah.
You know, Randy Savage getting his own little stable of the women back, you know, and then Big Papa Pump kind of, you know, everything. The NWO Wolfpack, the beef between, you know, WCW was great. but it also lacked in certain aspects. So where they lacked, I was in love with what WWF was doing at the time, the Attitude Era, DX. Oh my God. I would anybody I could run up to and just crotch chop without getting punched in the face, I was doing it. And even if it resulted in me getting punched in the face, I was screaming, suck it. I was like, I don't care, suck it. You know what I mean? It was over.
Was it not well worth it, Don Sean? Was it not well worth it?
It was always worth it. It was always worth it, especially like when I moved to where I live now currently, guys, in New Jersey. You know, when I first got to that school, that was the one thing. That's why anybody who talked to me because they were like, yo, that's the kid who could do the sweet chin music just like Shawn Michaels and stuff like that. So, like, in the hallway, I'd have kids running up to me like, yo, do the sweet chin music. So, like, I'd just be there getting ready, and then, like, somebody be running at me. And then, boom, I'm sweet chin music kids in the hallway, you know. But yeah, man, I loved what WWF had going on at the time. You know, a lot of the WCW guys were starting to transition over there. ECW guys were starting to make their way there. One of my, my saddest stories is with Taz. You know, I would have loved to see his career flourish and get the due it deserved in WWF because of, to me, how amazing he was in ECW. Same for Rob Van Dam with the television title. The whole fucking show gimmick was so over for me. But yeah, man, there was never really one that stood out above the rest. But if so, I would say it'd be ECW because at the time I had the Hardcore Revolution Nintendo 64 game. So I was always playing,
oh, man.
You know?
Yeah. Definitely one of the best. I'll say like one of the better games I played like from that era.
One of the very best. That's how I figured out who Axl Rotten and Balls Mahoney was.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Balls.
Yeah, and then you had the Amish dude. Oh my God.
Oh, Roadkill.
Yes.
Was it him?
Yes.
I think okay.
He was a beast. And then obviously Dawn Marie, Francine. To me, the WWF women weren't touching what ECW had. You know, that shit was crazy.
You just hear Joey Styles in the back. Cat fight! Oh my God! Like the way, and sometimes there would be points where Joey Styles was just soloing it, soloing it.
Oh my God, would always happen at the perfect time. Right. Always.
But man, I digress, Don Sean. I mean, we're getting into it now. Like you talked about the guys who had came and gone from both WCW, ECW. Who were some of well, if you had to narrow it down to one, who was your favorite male wrestler all time?
Shit, that's not even a question.
Oh, I gotta go with it. Yeah,
that's not even a question.
Gotta go with old HB Shizzle, my man.
I'm gonna show you guys my favorite wrestler of all time. I'm gonna show you what my favorite gear of all time. The WrestleMania 12.
Is that WrestleMania 12? Okay.
Heartbreak Kid. Shawn Michaels, guys. The boy who dreamed has come true. Shawn Michaels is indeed my favorite wrestler of all time. Probably because at the time I used to mimic my brother a lot and whatever he did. I'll show you guys another version of the gear and the Funko version.
Oh wow. I actually dig the pop version.
You know. But Shawn Michaels, guys, it started, actually I could show you the tape it started with for me that did it. That my brother brought home. And after that moment, you couldn't tell me about another wrestler. I don't want to hear about any other wrestlers. It was this tape right here.
Shawn Michaels, best hits from the Heartbreak Kid.
Guys, you guys can realize just by looking at this how classic of a videotape this is. This has the old school WWF Coliseum video. If you guys don't know, the Survivor Series that just happened is actually the very last ever for WWE home video.
Yes, sir.
So for me, all of these tapes and DVDs that I do currently have mean even more. But guys, it started with this tape. You see on this tape specifically, it shows the transition from the Rocker, Shawn Michaels, to the Heartbreak Kid. You know, you see him coming out with Sensational Sherry and other people as well. And really just the change. You see him putting Marty Jannetty through, the
glass, yeah.
On the barbershop and all that. So for me, it was just, that's what did it. It just, I loved him. I loved the style of wrestling he did. It was very different compared to all of the wrestling I had watched prior on tapes. You know, it was so much different than the Ric Flair. It was more high flying, more spotty, more something me as a young kid wrestling with his friends can do, right? Running around, jumping, the flying forearm elbow to the kip up. I practiced that probably since I was 5 years old. up until I was like 16, I would literally be running around, hitting my brother, my friends, whoever came into the house, run at them, hit them, twist, and then just nip up off the floor. And I don't know, just the stories and the promos. I mean, I'll give you a show like nobody else could. Why? Because I can.
WrestleMania 11.
I mean, come on, just some of the promo work, everything, and then we'll speak about it, I'm sure, later. But WrestleMania 12, my favorite match of all time. You know, probably not my favorite match of all time, maybe now, but I would say currently, until I get to that question, I will say yes, because the boyhood dream came true. 60-minute Iron Man match, him and Bret Hart, at a time in which Bret Hart was the excellence, you know, of execution, like he's saying. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And, you know, me and my cousin Lou, shout out to you, Lou. I'm sure you're not watching, he's at work, but he loves Bret Hart. I love Shawn Michaels, and he'll tell you, man, we text each other nonsense every single day as if it's still a war that's going on. So, yeah, definitely Shawn Michaels, my brother.
I'll say that. You know, believe it or not, the first time I got introduced to Shawn Michaels, ironically enough, it was 2 wrestling tapes itself that my grandmother had. It was WrestleMania 8. He fought Tito Santana that night, and then SummerSlam 93. He fought Mr. Perfect.
Oof. Yeah.
So yeah,
SummerSlam 93, that perfect match.
Those were 2 matches that just introduced me to Shawn Michaels off rip, and it's a special kind of character, once in a generation kind of guys that we run into.
I mean, well, he inspired a lot of the generation, and many people don't know, like at the time in 98, or rather 2000, it was like 2000, 2001-ish, after the whole 98 injury, in which the commissioner stuff and all that stuff failed, the whole painkiller epidemic and all that. Right. Shawn, Bryan Danielson was one of his original students.
Yes, sir.
And not many people.
For those who don't know that, not a lot of people know that.
He was one of his original students at a time in which Shawn was changing his life too. So like, just seeing not only the amount of people he inspired, but the guys he actually trained to bring, and just even what he's currently still doing to try and improve what product they have there. I mean, the guy is amazing, and you see a lot of his thing obviously every week that you watch wrestling. Every super kick party you see the Young Bucks throw, everything. That's, you know, Shawn Michaels, guys.
He got it from the man. They got it from the man himself. But switching gears, if we talked about your favorite male, who is your favorite female all time? You can go all time, and then you can segue into current as well.
So I'll talk like this, right? In regards to female wrestler all time favorite, I would say, much like you, it's something in where I'm like, I'm like, but like, I can't narrow it 100% down to one specific. I can name a couple, all time, who I'm just like, wow, you know, anything that I watched them do, I was thoroughly enthused by. Lita, you know, the high flying lucha style came. Like I mentioned earlier, I had a poster of her in my locker at Hudson School, and I got suspended for it. Not only did I have a poster of her, I also had one of Tori Wilson. But Tori Wilson is not one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. She's just one of my favorite divas for sure, but definitely not. So I'll definitely say Lita. Without a doubt, Jazz. Just everything.
Wow, okay.
She's so powerful, coming from ECW as well. Remember, I was the ECW guy, and Jazz was a beast,
Absolutely.
You know, so that was she's definitely probably one of my favorite of all time. AJ, I loved AJ, you know, for sure. Obviously, she's from Union City, which is where I'm from currently, or I like to say I'm from, because of how long I've been here. She was great, you know, great for the sport, great for the change that led to the women's evolution. And then if I want to kind of go like a little more like old school, I would say Luna Vachon. Honestly, her gimmick,
very old school.
Her gimmick was insane. But like, even then, after watching the Dark Side of the Ring episode, which, guys, I really didn't watch I just watched it not too long ago. So I was a little behind. And I'm not saying this because of the episode. I actually was a huge fan of hers with the whole Goldust thing, because that's actually something I want to speak about too. When we asked about my favorite male wrestler, the fucking Goldust gimmick was so over to me because of how uncomfortable it made the world.
Right.
It was so great. But I loved her, you know, as his valet. I loved what she was able to do in the ring. And if you watch Dark Side of the Ring, guys, and you see like when they speak about the stuff with Sable, she was just a very underappreciated talent, but she came from an older time of wrestling, and she's definitely above all the ladies I've named thus far, I would say Luna's definitely above them.
Wasn't she in the
except for
original
Lita.
Women's of Wrestling? Woman of Wrestling?
Wow, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not Glow. She was definitely though in the Women of Wrestling.
Yeah, no, not Glow. Definitely, I
Yeah.
know like there was like an original Women's of Wrestling from back in the day.
Yeah, and then another one would be probably the first run Mickey James had.
Oh, the Crazy Fan.
Yeah, the Crazy Fan. That was one of my favorites. But currently, I can name, and again, I can't really narrow it down currently to probably one. There's really, really, really so many. I mean, Maki Ito from Japan, she's a fucking beast. You got B Priestley, who's what she used to go by now. Now she's whatever Davenport in WWE. She was a really good one currently that I really enjoyed watching. I mean, there's so many great, talented women wrestlers right now, for sure. I mean, obviously, everybody knows I'm a huge fan of the man, Becky Lynch. Not so much what's happening right now. I won't lie. I'm not, especially with the fact that she went over on Liv last night. I'm still a little.
You're still salty on
I'm
that?
a little blue knotted about that. I won't lie. My asshole's a little tight about that. But I thought it'd been nice, a little thing. Just
it would have been nice to get a change.
Just to see what they're doing with the future generation. But I will say currently, Rhea Ripley stands out above and beyond a lot of the other females in the industry right now. That's no dig on anybody else, but Rhea Ripley's really improved from when I saw her in NXT UK to where she is now. And then another one I would say is Chris Statlander. Not even because of what our brother here was saying, but Chris Statlander has been on my radar for a few years now. I had mentioned in the prelude about, before she got to AEW, she was on a squash match for when the Iconics had the WWE Women's Tag Team belts, in which she did that. So she's just something about her, man. I love the Galaxy's Greatest Alien gimmick she's got going on.
She'll eventually become our leader.
And then
sooner rather than later.
But she says she's a great wrestler. She heals from her injury, and she still puts on great matches. I mean, that Ruby Soho match and Chris Statlander match they had on Dynamite not too long ago was the match of that card, was the match of the week across any promotion, honestly, to me. And it brought so much heat and so much fire that I definitely got to mention Chris Statlander. Currently, probably one of my favorites.
Right on. I could definitely get with.
And then let me not Daphne, the Scream Queen. You guys have seen me wear a shirt. Sorry. God rest her soul. The Ravens Flock, probably my second favorite stable of all time. So, or third, without a doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Right on, Don Sean. All right. So, we're gonna keep it going. We talked about your favorite wrestler, both female and male. How about your overall favorite heel?
Man,
it could be current, it could be past, present. I won't limit you, my man. I won't limit you.
I won't lie.
I mean,
let me say this. So much similar to the thing that I can't narrow it down to one of all time. Okay. But man, when that Bully Ray shit started, bro.
When in TNA, are you talking about Impact Wrestling?
Yes, like when he brought it out for like the whole Aces and Eights thing. I'm not a fan of the Aces and Eights thing, but the Bully Ray gimmick and how he's carried it and everything like that, to me, he went super heel with that.
Right.
Super heel with that. Otherwise, really, besides that, I mean, MJF is a beast.
Can't say much about that, man. Only 25 too, and he's just getting better.
Heel Shawn Michaels was second to none.
Well, I digress.
Second to none. Obviously you knew that was coming. Second to none in my opinion. Definitely one of my favorites. Then I would definitely probably say the Cody versus Kenny stuff in the New Japan, where it really was like Cody was like, I'm the leader, you're the, that was.
Or Bullet Club is fine, and
and then my favorite heel would obviously be my current favorite male wrestler who I didn't really mention earlier would be Marty Scurll.
Marty Scurll, okay, damn.
To me, whatever he touches is gold.
I like that, and he's been doing his thing too. Like Popping back up slowly but surely.
Yeah, he's the Unlimited Wrestling champion out of Germany now, so that's dope that he has a bell around his waist again.
We have a seeming like a little resurgence coming of the villain once more, so it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, hopefully he revives his friends from the dead.
Hopefully, we'll see it. I feel like sooner rather than later we'll see the villain back here stateside.
Yeah,
I feel like we will. But let's see. Favorite finisher.
The Shining Wizard.
Shining Wizard, Gregory Helms, huh?
Yeah, that was something different back in the day, without a doubt. Yeah. And then was another one was the STF.
Oh, yeah. Really? The submission maneuver.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Before Cena turned into the STFU, the STF was, listen, man. And this is the thing. People forget. Before Cena used the Death Valley Driver and the STF, those were Perry Saturn and Tommy Dreamer moves. You know what I mean? Those weren't really getting used by many other people. But to see it get used, I'm a huge fan of the STF. And then the Taz mission. Oh, my God. And then the suplex, not even the Tazplex, but the other one, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but the Japanese suplex he would do. And then the Van Daminator.
Who would just catch a chair and just get a chair, take it to your face.
Fuck you.
I don't think that's been done either in a while, in a long time.
No.
I think RVD's pretty much the originator of that, and he's kept it.
Yeah, the world would rather use the concerto for some reason.
Hey man, I ain't mad. Nobody wants to do a Van Daminator. Nobody gonna do a Van Daminator, bro. I ain't mad at that. If it keep it in dormant like that, give more space to whoever comes up. You'll be like, damn, he's been watching his film. Now it's like at the point like whoever comes up now and just uses it, I'm like, damn, this man knows his history. Yeah. He's watching.
I do like the one-winged angel too. The one-winged angel.
One of the best moves I think in wrestling.
I do like that a lot.
Definitely. I can definitely get jiggy with that.
And I'll tell you my least favorite finisher right now without you even having to ask. The fucking leg drop.
Ah!
No. That does not.
Because of the person or just the movie?
It just doesn't sell. It doesn't sell me. Okay. You know me, though. I gotta. You've heard me say it many times. I gotta believe it. You're not beating Yokozuna, that big a dude, with that little ass leg you got, my guy.
No, sir. You gotta remember, Hogan is a big dude, but Yoko, come on now,
way bigger.
Yokozuna, exactly.
Yeah, much the leg drop for sure, and then I won't lie, I fucking hate Wardlow's F10.
You hate the F10, okay? I don't think he's used the F10 like that a lot, but he's been very much a powerbomb specialist as of
don't build. Yeah, my thing is just don't build him to seem like a Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean?
Powerbomb, powerbomb penthouse. I don't know.
Well, no, my thing is just like you can do the power. I mean, jackknife. Use the jackknife then. I don't know.
Or the Sid bomb, or
to me, he's such a big and brolic dude. There's better finishes out there for him. But off the top of my head, those are two of my least favorite finishes. There's a bunch more, but there's definitely those two stick out.
Off the top of your head, fair enough.
Stick out above and beyond the rest.
Okay, all right. I mean, we probably covered this earlier, and you did say you probably will come back to it. Favorite match of all time? You said 60 Minutes, Brett and Shawn. Do you have another?
That's definitely one of them. I do have another one. Is Vampiro and Sting, Halloween Havoc.
Oh, okay.
Where he went off the top of the Titantron.
Oh no, sir. Oh no, that's not Halloween Havoc. It's the oh my god.
That wasn't Halloween Havoc?
Are you sure? I felt like that was the Great American Bash.
I'm pretty sure that was Halloween Havoc.
Okay, we could definitely look this up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
I feel like it was either, if it wasn't Halloween Havoc, I feel like it was the Great American Bash. I could be definitely wrong though.
Because that's when he set him on fire, everything.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh. They definitely had a match at the Great American Bash in 2000. Yeah, that was the Inferno match. That's the one where he set him on fire, right? That might have been it then. Yeah, you're right. So it was the Great American Bash.
he got set on fire, and then a Sting fell like 50 feet from it, unless like they had like a stunt double, but right.
You're right.
Yeah,
So guys, I don't remember the event it happened at, but I remember the damn match. But that was definitely one of my favorites. And then I would say honestly anything that featured like Sabu and ECW and Rob Van Dam together. I love their work together, even because they were never on the same page.
Right.
Man, those guys were beasts. For sure.
All right. Okay. All right. All right, Don Sean. We're getting to know Don Sean just a little bit in the Penthouse, boys and girls. So we covered your groundwork in terms of like where it started for you and how you like really just got into the business. Well, I gotta ask you now, all time favorite match, like one you'll just can never get tired of.
Would be Brett Sean, WrestleMania 12.
Brett and Sean.
I could watch that. I could run that back 1,000 times. I could run back SummerSlam. I believe it was SummerSlam of Shawn Michaels' first match, the street fight with Triple H coming back.
I like that one.
Was one I can run that back 1,000 times. The first Elimination Chamber. Honestly, I could run Survivor Series 02 back 1 billion times, or 03 it was, or I believe it was 02 actually. Brock versus the Big Show for the first time with Paul Strowman and the Big Show. The Hardys in that tag team match with the Dudleys and all that. So many great matches from there. But definitely, I would say that I could sit down and throw on my VHS or go look it up. Would definitely be Sean and Brett. Any Sean and Brett match. And actually, it would be anything involving Shawn Michaels. Truthfully.
So I'll piggyback on that since you mentioned the particular events. What is your favorite pay-per-view event all time?
WrestleMania 12.
WrestleMania 12, top to bottom.
Top to bottom, because it was the first WrestleMania that I got to really, really sit down with the tapes. Like at the time, my brother had the tapes. It was WrestleMania 12, WrestleMania 13, WrestleMania 3, and then WrestleMania 14. So I started it with WrestleMania 12, or rather it was 11, 12, 13, 14, and 3 that he had. And they came in the old Coliseum video case where it was gray with the poster from what WrestleMania it was. So I watched Taker on each of those tapes. It was him versus Bigfoot Gonzalez, him versus Diesel, him versus Psycho Sid, and then whatever it was the year after. But I don't know, it was just
the year after 14.
That WrestleMania 12, just on the card, you had like the Body Donnas with Sonny. They were wrestling the Goodwins, you know what I mean? And they were with Hillbilly Jim. So that was a tag team match for the tag team championships, which at the time were vacant, you know what I mean? Which was still something crazy to know happens so much later on. A 6-man tag team, and if Yokozuna's team won, he got 5 minutes with Jim Cornette. That match was the British Bulldog, Owen Hart, and Vader with Jim Cornette, the Camp Cornette people. And they defeated Ahmed Johnson, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Yokozuna with Mr. Fuji. That was a great match. Roddy Piper defeated Goldust with Marlena.
Hey, that was a street fight, yeah.
The Hollywood Backlot Brawl, he pulled up with the car, beat the dog shit out of him. I mean, come on. How can you not love that?
Very true.
Stone Cold with Ted DiBiase defeated Savio Vega. That was in the Ringmaster days. Yep. The $1 Million Belt was one of my favorites. And then this is another one of my favorite wrestlers of all time who I didn't even mention. I mean, the God, the GOAT, the Ultimate Warrior went at it with Triple H, who at the time was still being known as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and he had Sable in his corner. He was the gentleman, took the bow, all that, man. The Warrior came out and just shaking the world. Oh my God, that literally felt like me after.
Even though nobody liked the fact that he no-sold the pedigree.
Yeah, no-sold the shit out of it.
No-sold it, 100%.
Got right up.
David turned him around for a pinfall just no-sold the whole thing. I mean,
the match in total, I believe, was like less than 2 minutes.
Oh yeah,
it was like 1 minute and 45 seconds, if that.
Until The Rock beat Rowan at 32, it was the shortest match in Mania history. I think they dubbed it.
Look at that.
Or until like Sheamus beat Bryan at 28, something like that.
Nah, that was short. But then, yeah, the co-main event of the card was The Undertaker against Diesel.
Right.
And that was Diesel coming off of a title run the year prior because Diesel was the champion, I
last
believe.
year.
Yeah, at 11. And then, the main event, Shawn Michaels with Jose Lothario, man, and Bret Hart. The boyhood dream that came true, just
It's
everything
kinda
that went into
redemption.
that, the packaging, the video, that pay-per-view sold me
Very much a
forever.
redemption story for Shawn, who had lost the main event a year prior against Diesel. So
Yep.
I dig that. Very
Loved
much
it.
dig.
Loved every part of it. And then, the sudden death happening at the end, all of that.
Which is a plot twist.
100%.
Very nice plot twist.
Somebody asked the DC game, and what was the most emotional, well, I know that means match, for you?
Oh!
You want to answer that first, my brother?
Oh, there's a lot of them, though. Nah, but really, two that really stood out to me, I'll go Survivor Series 03. I was a big Austin fan. I loved Austin from start to finish. And even though he didn't wrestle that match, his team against Bischoff's team, I knew the implications of the match and what would happen. But yeah, we kind of knew. As a kid, I'm 8 going on 9 years old. So I'm not knowing okay, this is probably the last time I'm going to see Austin in a ring, but I remember sorely after the match, just bawling in tears. And then he came out to the ring, and then he had a speech, and it was the Survivor Series in Dallas. And he was just saying how he grew up and he wrestled in the Sportatorium. Yeah. And then the last thing he says, I'm going to miss the shit out you guys. I'm like, oh my God. So I definitely do get memories of really being emotional like that. And then how can you not get emotional with Flair and Michaels at 24?
Yeah, obviously saying that, obviously.
Yeah.
But Shawn saying, I'm sorry, I love you.
How can you not get emotional?
For me, I would sit here and say probably for me, the first TLC match was one of the most emotional.
Ooh,
because I remember watching Jeff go off the set when he did his second ladder spot. Remember, he did the first one and barely got up. But then when he did the second one, where he just clipped the wrestler, and you could see he really jacked his tailbone up, and just the way the match went down. Obviously, the Hardys didn't win. I believe Edge and Christian won the first TLC match.
Well, Edge and Christian won
almost all of them.
Are you talking about WrestleMania, or are you talking about because? Was it WrestleMania? They didn't dub WrestleMania as it was a triple threat ladder match, and then SummerSlam was the first TLC.
Yeah.
And then at WrestleMania, the year after, they had TLC 2.
Yeah, probably. It was one of those. I would say, and then probably when Eddie won the Undisputed title, Eddie Guerrero, to be specific.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I cried. I cried without a doubt. I bawled my eyes out because at the time I could only watch SmackDown because it was on UPN. I didn't have cable. You know what I mean? Okay. So when he won that belt, I loved it. I was going nuts. And then for me, because that led into, the whole bit with JBL and then the wrestling god, which then obviously led to the rise of Cena. So, man, I cried my eyes out when Eddie won that belt. And then I also cried my eyes out when Cena beat JBL for the belt at 21. I won't lie.
Really?
Oh my God! I had my chain on with my fake. I had a white T-shirt that I drew Chain Gang on with the C and the G, and it was a terrible drawing. And I had the T-shirt on, and I had the chain, I had the hat. I used to wear the wristbands. I used to go like that all the time to my brother. Oh my God, he would tell you I was all up in his shit, always annoying. But yeah, those are 3 definitely big emotional moments for me, and then probably I feel like anytime a wrestler talks about injury retirements, any injury retirements always get me too. Yeah, absolutely. Just like we said, DC, we talked about that Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, WrestleMania 24, the I'm sorry, I love you moment.
I feel like Michaels has a few, but literally the 2 matches that Shawn Michaels played a part in both of those matches. So it's just I feel like more Michaels played a part in so much more emotional matches for me, and then him winning the title at Survivor Series that year, the year he came back, that really got me as well too. And then, it's just those are 3 matches I can go back. I'll probably still drop a tear or 2 every now and again.
There's so many great ones out there, though, guys. So many great ones.
But yes, sir. I guess to close this off, I'm gonna ask you what you asked me last. A dream match you would like to see. It could be anybody.
Anybody,
past,
guys. I'm
present,
gonna talk about anybody from the past. All right, and I'm gonna start off by saying it would be a 4-way dance.
Oh,
be a 4-way dance, and that's
Okay.
ECW terminology, guys, for a fatal 4-way. But it was elimination style. That's how it was done in ECW. Everything was elimination style. So I would sit here and say, dream match that I would love to see: 4-way dance, Shane Douglas, Shawn Michaels, 2019 Kenny Omega.
Oh, so we're talking years here. Okay.
And I'm talking about ECW TV title reign, Rob Van Dam.
Wow.
I would love to see that match because you have Shawn and Shane there for the super technical aspects. And then you got, RVD and 2019 Kenny for the more impactful and bigger spots. Just to me, that would be insane. And then for females, a female dream match would probably be, Medusa in her prime, obviously, against Charlotte Flair.
In her prime, she's kind of in her prime right now, so.
She's still kind of in her prime for sure.
Yeah.
Against Lita. And then I think to round that group out would be AJ in another fatal 4-way style match.
In the 4-way dance.
Yeah.
I can dig that. I like the deal. I like the idea that you went to doing the 4-way dances. Impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it's just it covers the gaps of like everybody that I've loved and liked throughout the time. Across just the different promotions and stuff. Obviously, there's way more guys. Everybody knows I love Jay Lethal. We can add him to any match that we've already mentioned. You know what I mean? To me, that would be a dream match to have him in. Marty Scurll, obviously, in any match against any of these guys. I mean, I would love to see Marty versus Shawn, right? Or Marty versus Johnny Gargano at this point, because that's about as close to Shawn Michaels as we're getting in this generation.
I don't want to cut you off, but breaking news. Well, this is like reporting that Johnny Gargano is taking time from wrestling in general.
Does he just have the kid?
Yeah, he's got.
They're gonna have the kid. Rather, they're gonna have the kid very soon.
Yeah, he's taking time to focus on his family. He's gonna step aside from pro wrestling for a while. So it's best of luck to Johnny Wrestling and wherever he may roam.
Absolutely. Just to give you guys some more insight too, because this is a combat sports, not just pro wrestling. I can tell you guys that my favorite MMA fighter of all time is Vanderlei Silva. At a time in which he was in Pride, he was one of the scariest people in the world when he was the axe murderer. I loved anything Pride did, the Grand Prix, the Final Conflicts, all of that stuff. That was probably my favorite fighting promotion growing up because that's really what I paid attention to. Then obviously my favorite style of combat sport would be wrestling, since I competed in, just to give you guys a little more in depth. But yeah, man, that's me, guys. That's about as basic and as short as I can keep it. But you got a different perspective into Don Sean. You got a different perspective into my bro St. Polo. We got some amazing interview time with our guy Nick, also known as the Cameraguygimmick. You guys, I'll put his handle up right there. You guys can go follow him on Instagram, Twitter, Cameraguygimmick. Just thank you to you again for coming onto the show, giving us a different perspective on what it's like to be behind the scenes. This is Talking Elite, episode 5. You guys can join us on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. We will be going live. We'll be going live. We'll be talking about all the wrestling news, all the combat sports news, all your updates in regards to boxing, MMA, pro wrestling, AEW, GCW, the Indie Hall of Fame, MLW, WWE,
and so much more. Impact, we got UFC 269 Saturday night too.
So much more. Not only that, you also have Ring of Honor Final Battle. There's so much happening, guys.
Not just any final battle.
You guys see it right there. All our handles.
Final battle.
Talking Elite Show. Talking Elite. YouTube, Twitch. You guys see everywhere. You can follow us. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Guys, we're here and we are always going to be here. Thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with us. As you guys know.
The groove, man. It's the groove.
That's it. As you guys know, it is always a great time to dream elite. It is always a great time to be elite. There's nothing ever wrong with thinking elite, but there is absolutely only one place in the world you can come and talk elite. That is right here with your boy, the Don Sean, and
Brother St. Polo.
And that has been us, guys. We'll catch you guys soon.
Yes, sir. We'll see you guys later. Too sweet.